Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the SportsRunDown Betalong. How are you tonight, guys?
Good, LB.
Doing good, yeah. Yourself?
Yeah, very good, PK. Nice to have you on the show.
Welcome back, PK.
It's great to be back. So it is.
Yeah, it's like a blast from the past here. So great to have you. As anyone who's watching will see that we have the Union Berlin Leipzig game live on the screen there. So before we get into the show and talk about what we're going to do, maybe Slats, just get your bet out in the open there. God forbid we miss a goal.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about this, but of course, this ACA, we couldn't be called out for after time, and if it wins, because we're going to pay out the win to the biggest or best commenter on one of the platforms, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. So, even if we're accused of after time and the bet comes in, somebody will still be €450.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah. But
expensive after timing.
It would be, just lying about bets just so you can pay somebody out. So yeah, that's the idea. Basically, we come up with a live ACA every week, and we put a tenner on it. And if the ACA comes off, we pay one of the commenters on the live show the return. So we actually, over the last few weeks, we were quite unlucky, and we haven't hit one of these in a while, but we had started going a little more conservative, I think, LB, but we've gone the opposite this week, and not through any kind of conscious plan. Individually, we all just picked matches that were slightly wider odds than usual, so it's working out at a 45 to 1 shot, so that'll be 450.
I think it was about 9 to 2 last week.
So exactly, yeah. It's some swing, but at the same time, each of these games, when I look at them, like, they all look like very solid bets. So you could easily get on them individually as well, because they are decent enough odds. But yeah, if that comes in, that'll be €450 out to our best commenters. So hopefully we'll see plenty of comments coming in for people to get in with a chance of winning that. So yeah, the first game, like we said, is mine, and it's just kicking off now. It's in the Bundesliga, and it's Union Berlin versus Leipzig. So I was looking around for bets for a while. I normally go for the Dutch too, and there was nothing jumping out at me there. So I had a look at this game, and I wouldn't know a huge amount about it. But when I looked at the stats, I just couldn't understand why Union Berlin are 3 to 1. They've lost one game in 23 attempts at home in the Bundesliga. So that's going back to September 2020. They've only lost once, and that was to Bayern Munich. So, obviously the champions are a step above anyone else in the league. You're doing well if they're the only team that have beaten you in your home ground.
Yeah.
And they're obviously home this match against Leipzig. Leipzig finished second last season. They were a bit of a surprise, or they certainly surprised a few people. Finishing second, they gave Munich a good run, but they just haven't lived up to that so far this season, and their away form has been pretty atrocious. This season, of their 6 games, they've drawn 3 and lost 3. They also lost the last 3 of last season, so their last 9 away Bundesliga games are 3 draws and 6 losses, yet they're still favourites going into this game. While Berlin seem, relatively, I think they maybe have 1 injury. In fact, it's 1 player missing due to COVID. Leipzig have at least 3 missing from COVID and a further 3 injuries. So, their squad is much more decimated. They're not in great form. And it just, everything points toward a Union Berlin win. So 3 to 1 just seems a crazy price for Berlin to win. I kind of suggested, if you wanted to play it a bit more safely, 5 to 6 for the double chance seems pretty good. So that would be the win or the draw. The win for Union Berlin or the draw would return close enough to evens. But, I just thought the 3 to 1 looked too good to miss out on. So I threw that in for our ACA. Second up is your pick then, LB.
A similar pick to last week. So just before I dive into it, anyone who's watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, the 3 places we're streaming, you can see the article up there. So the live action ACA, it's what we do every night or every Friday night. So myself, Slats, and Gary put our 3 picks together, and when we come up with this ACA, is kind of, you would have picked that out of what Slats said earlier. So this week I've taken another Belgian game. I'd say probably 80% of my Friday picks have been Belgian games, but Union Saint-Gilloise, or Saint-Gilloise, however you say it, are playing, again, they played last Friday night, and we backed them to win and both teams to score, and they lost with both teams to score in a pretty huge upset against Leuven. They're still top of the league. They're still the form team in Belgium. I think that's their only loss in their last 8. I think they've 8 wins in the last 11. They've scored think they're like 10, if not 12 goals higher than anybody else in terms of goals for. They're just, scoring for fun. And last week, if you remember watching it last, they were a bit unlucky. Like they just never really clicked, but a lot of good chances at the same time. So they're away this week to St. Truiden, they're not as bad as Leuven. They're kind of comfortably mid-table, but they're not great either. They score a bit. They score pretty much every game, but they only score once per game. And Union are, again, they're 9-4, I believe, or 9-5 for the win on both teams to score. So it seems a smart play here again tonight. The win is 1-3 goals. I think both teams to score is about 1-2. Maybe sort of 3-5, something like that. Neither of them are particularly valuable, but together it's a pretty good price at just outside or just around 2-1. So I've taken that one again. So
yeah,
that's the
9-4, 9-4 that was, which seems a great price. I do love those ones where a team is odds on, and then 1-3, no value really backing. But when you put in the both teams to score, and when the both teams to score is justified, as you just did, justify it with the stats, it's such a big swing from 1-3 up to 9-4.
Yeah, that's it. Like, and it's not, sometimes you might look at it, and I'm trying to think of a team here, but certainly in my mind, you go more than 3 years ago in the Serie A, the both teams to score was quite risky. A lot of kind of 1-0 specialists, and you look at maybe, I know they've had their little troubles recently, but Liverpool, City, teams like that, they often just don't concede. Union in Belgium, they're a recently promoted team, and they do concede plenty. They just score far more, and it kind of reminds me a lot of those teams that come up. I remember PK, you probably remember Blackpool in the Premier League, and they'd score 4 goals in a lot of games, but they just conceded too many, and Union have a little bit of that about them. So I think I think there's a good chance they let one in, but they should be too strong for St. Truiden here tonight.
I'm seriously hoping the third leg of this bet is Union again, because we've got Union Berlin, Union St. Truiden or whatever the Belgian team's name is. So the Union treble is what I'm waiting for now.
Is there another team called Union? I'm not sure if there is.
No, we were even getting mixed up talking about this bet earlier with 2 unions involved in it. I was talking about your Belgium game, and you thought I was on about my own pick.
Yeah, you were like, they've drifted 3-1, and I was like, they were 3-1 yesterday. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Before I move on to the third leg, which is Gary's pick, Union Berlin have already gone up 1-0. I didn't want to talk across you while you were going through your bet.
Unreal.
But that's a great start. So there's still even money to win that match, which I think is crazy.
I think Leipzig have scored only like 3 or 4 goals away from home this season so far as well.
Oh yeah, they've been really poor away from home, and I don't know why it's expected to change. When I was going through the bet, I didn't mention that toward the end of last season as well, this fixture in Berlin finished 2-1 to Union Berlin as well. So I mean, even when you're kind of looking back at recent head-to-head, they did beat them last season. It just seems strange that they're not expected to this time around. But
you wonder with that, is there just an element, of everyone is going to be back in Leipzig, and the bookies are just reacting to what they expect the public to do as opposed to actually how they see the game going.
Yeah, we've spoken about it before a good few times about teams who kind of fall from grace, big teams. And, we spoke about United when Ferguson left. It's not like United's odds just drastically changed. There was value backing against them for an extended period. So
most of that season, in reality.
Yeah. And there's been others. I think you spoke the same about, was it AC Milan a few seasons back?
It was actually the same season. Yeah, they just went off a cliff. I can remember being in the Ladbrokes in Ringsend with you slats doing, whoever United were playing and whoever Milan were playing as a double. Because the two of them would be odds on, and they'd have, 1 win in 5 sort of thing. So
yeah, so I think there's an element to that. Like Leipzig finished second last season, so I think they're just looked at as a stronger team than Union Berlin. They should win this match. I don't think form is going to be, and I mean, I guess form shouldn't be the full basis for odds, but they definitely seem to have gone too heavy on last season rather than the opening of this season. I would have expected that to even have changed. When we were talking about our picks a bit earlier in the week, I was kind of saying we should get on this pretty fast because, and with Leipzig had a few more COVID tests due, with the potential of missing more players, I was kind of thinking the odds are going to come in on this, but they didn't really. I think they came in to maybe 13-5 from 3-1, and then they seemed to drift back out toward that again. So I don't get why. It's great that Berlin are up 1-0. Hopefully it'll stay that way, or hopefully they'll push on and go up 2 or 3-0. But before we go back onto that game, I'll just go through the third leg of the ACA, which was Gary,
actually, just before you do that, while we have a few people watching across the different streams, and if you've just joined us, thanks for coming along. What we've done here tonight is we've got a treble on from beforehand, and we call it We Bet You Win. So we've got a tenner on that treble, and Slats will go through the details in a moment. It pays about €450. So the most engaged or the most beneficial or maybe the most complimentary comments across the three platforms, if the bet lands tonight, we'll give that money, the winning prize of the bet, to one of the most active or best commenters across the YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. So get commented there. Let us know what you're watching, what you're backing, what your thoughts are on our bet, and get that conversation started.
Yeah, and like we've been saying, I mean, it's already off to a good start with Berlin up 1-0. They were 3-1, so that's a big leg of the bet that's on course. Yeah. It's just gone suspended again. Leipzig just scored, so it's back to 1-1. Yeah, I know I've another. I have Berlin backed with both teams to score as well, but I would much prefer just our main actor to be coming off here and to stay at 1-0, and that's disappointing anyway. But
you know what though, it's good to see that. I sometimes in those things when you've backed an underdog or you've backed an outsider or kind of a stranger bet, sometimes I like to see the goals early. I'd nearly prefer 1-1 to 0-0 at this stage.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can see that Berlin have the capacity to go up and score against Leipzig. They're taking them on. So
that was Leipzig's first shot as well. So I mean, the Union have had 3, so there's nothing to fear here. You'd still be confident in the bet.
Yeah, still happy the way things are going. Hopefully they can push on, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the third leg is Gary's pick. It's the Fulham Bournemouth game in the Championship in England. So obviously Gary can't make it tonight, but he still gave us a bet for this game. It's a game I was looking at myself. I was considering going for Mitrovic anytime goal scorer at evens, just based on his form this season. 21 goals is crazy. Gary was talking about Solanke then for Bournemouth, who's I think on 18 goals for the season, and I think he's much better odds. I think he's nearly 3-1 or something around that for anytime goal scorer. But basically, it's the top of the table clash in the Championship. 2 fairly evenly matched teams duking it out. Gary was talking about both teams to score draw at 7-2 is great odds, but for the ACA, just the fact that it's going to be a tight match, 13-5 for the draw, seemed a very high price for a game that obviously first versus second, it's going to be close. There's no doubt about it. 13-5 is just surprisingly high. It seems like good value. So
you've got the best home team with the best home record at home to the team with the best away record. So
it really is it. Yeah,
it's just a straight match up here. Like draw is probably the safest bet. I wouldn't like to be taking either other side of this one. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it certainly feels like a fixture as well that we could be seeing next season in the Premier League.
Yeah, because a draw suits both here too, right? They're well clear in first and second anyway, so no need to be dropping points. I'd say a draw. They'll both be happy with it at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it exactly. They'll obviously want to avoid a loss at all costs, so they'll certainly accept the draw. And you would think if they're level, kind of going into the last 15 minutes or even 20 minutes, they will be kind of tightening up. They're not going to be taking any big risks. So.
Exactly.
It should be a good game though. Like they are 2 attacking teams, and informed strikers and informed attacks, scoring plenty of goals, coming up against each other. So should be plenty of goals there.
But a comment in from John Keane on Facebook who asked us. He says PK hasn't got a bet in the ACA, but what's his best bet for the night? So have you got any bets on yourself, PK?
Other than college ball with you, LB, I've been following you. I read this article on yesterday, and I liked every part of the bet, so I'm in on this. I think if anyone was a savvy bettor, you could probably take them all as singles too, as hedges, right? Because I mean they're all you've won at 9-4, but the other 2 are over 3-1. So
they fully cover you.
Yeah, they cover you. So I don't see all 3 legs of this bet losing, but 45-1 on the treble is a lovely bet. So I didn't do too much investigating outside of that. I
know you're more of an in-play specialist anyway, PK, so I'm looking forward to it.
I like to, as LB will inform me, I'd be texting him every so often during the day, and I'll just be like, yeah, get on them now. I see that FC Porto are still 0-0, but dominating the game there. So
I knew you were going to pick a game. I was looking at the schedule.
myself.
When that hits
Yeah.
evens, when they hit even money, I'm on it.
It started at 1-3 and they're 8-13 now, so they're pushing that way. It'll still probably be 55 minutes, maybe 60 minutes before they're evens. But the only thing is, both teams have had 2 shots on target. In fairness, now Porto have had 10 shots against 4, and they've had a lot more attacks and possessions. So it's only the shots on target that is making it look a bit risky. But yeah, you'd still expect them to win.
I'm not watching it or anything, but it seems like one of these games, given the stats, where the better team is just going to wear them down potentially and score a goal in the 78th minute. Or
I was actually speaking to LB about this game during the week when I was looking for picks, and I hadn't looked at odds. I just looked at the game and looked at the stats, and I was going, in my head I was like, geez, Porto are definitely going to win this match, and I was sort of naively saying if they're evens or above, they're going to be my pick for the ACCA. And then I went in and they were like 1-3. I was like, for feck's sake, I wasn't expecting them to be that tight.
No, you're never. I mean, the only time you'll get Porto at anything above evens in that league is against Benfica or Sport. Now, I would have thought.
Actually, have you seen it? That's the game that's later on, Benfica Sporting. I'm looking forward to watching that. I think
it's like first 3/3 or something, is it?
Yeah. We've come in on YouTube as well from Bertie Smith, who I like the look of this bet. He's got Mitrovic and Solanke 2+ shots on target each at 17-2, which I think is a bet I'm going to want to get on myself now.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. All right. We were talking about anytime goal score for each of them, and Solanke definitely looks like great odds. Mitrovic is just evens to score anytime, but I do like those shots bets because you would expect, like you can have a striker who doesn't manage to hit the back of the net, but still has plenty of opportunities.
It's a shame Gary's not on the stream with us tonight now, because he'd love that bet, the shots on 2 shots on target double right up his street. So
that's it seems like his bet. He probably has that on, to be fair.
Yeah, he probably tweeted it and Bertie saw it and tailed him.
I think Gary's
8 o'clock kickoff. I actually can't see the odds on it here. I'm not sure why I can't find it.
Yeah, it should be an 8 o'clock kickoff. Yeah,
it's actually kicked off. It's 7:45 kickoff.
Oh, sorry, it's 7:45.
Yeah.
Okay, that must be why I'm missing it. So that could actually be drifted now, as the game is already on, as long as neither of them have managed that shot yet. And Slats, I'm surprised you don't have any Eredivisie bets for us tonight. You usually come on with a couple of them up your sleeve.
Yeah, it was a slightly reduced schedule. There's 6 games on. There's been 9 or 10 the last few weeks, and I looked through each of the 6 and just none of them jumped out. And now that I look at them, there's been first half goals in all 6 of them. 2 of them are 1-1. So both teams scoring. The kind of types of bets we tend to go for in that league. So it's I prefer to avoid and the goals come than go at it and the goals don't come. I was hoping a few of these games would stay 0-0 until halftime, and like Almere, who are one that I've gone on a lot, particularly early in the season, their games were full of goals. They scored in the 43rd minute, so that would have been a nice one to get to halftime at 0-0. But yeah, unfortunately, a goal came a bit too early there. There could be more, obviously could be more. There should be more in plenty of these games. Den Bosch Breda would stand out as one that could have a few more goals, but actually one that I was looking at when I was looking just in the live section for these games is the Eredivisie women's, the top division of the women's Dutch football. Excelsior playing Heerenveen, and it's 1-1 gone into the second half, but both teams have been going at it. I'd fancy another couple of goals there. It's nearly evens for 2 more goals. So I might get on that. I think there'll definitely be, I could see both teams scoring again in the second half in that game. So I might chance getting on that one. But
nice.
Yeah, I'll let you know. If anything jumps out in the Dutch 2, I'll shout anyway.
Porto just scored, so there's my back line. I'm gonna have to keep.
It's always the risk of waiting for the value, isn't it?
Yep. I mean, you have to do it because realistically, like you're still only getting 1-2 there nearly at half time, like, so it's not much point. You just have to hold out and hope for the best, but it didn't happen this time. But I'll keep my eyes out for any more.
Yeah, that's what we're looking forward to seeing. Plenty of that in-play action. It's kicked off in Belgium. There's not a huge amount that's after happening so far. Union have had. I actually don't know if they've not had the ball at all. I think they might have actually held it for the entire time it's been in play here. So, unsurprisingly, a delay in kickoff there seems to be the way in Belgium. So we're only sort of 3 or 4 minutes into this one, as opposed to the 9 that should be on the clock. So I'll keep an eye on this one and let you know if anything happens. But so far, there's been nothing of note.
I'm watching the Fulham Bournemouth game here. 5 minutes in, a little bit end to end. Bournemouth had a good chance, and Fulham have had a corner, so it's pretty active to start. So I'd say there'll be goals in this one, but Mitrovic was nearly in for a header, but Cahill he fouled Cahill in the process. So I'll be keeping an eye on that one first, guys.
Sounds good. John A in the comments has do we have a link for the Stockport game? So I actually don't. I don't. If you have any betting accounts, John, maybe let us know. Sometimes you can watch the games depending on who you're with in there. So I'll check.
I'll check Betfair here for us.
Yeah, check Betfair there, slats for us. Sometimes they let you watch them in there. So let us know if you've got an interest in that game, if you're just going to watch it as a fan, John, or if you've got a bet on it, or a particular outcome you're hoping for. Let us know, and we'll get chatting about that.
LB, any insights on the Serie B game between Perugia and Vicenza?
I looked at it and I just thought, this is the sort of Serie B game where I lose my money on the Serie B. I'd probably end up backing goals, but the truth of it is that it's a tough one to call. I've actually I would not say fallen out of love with the Serie B because it still catches my eye, but I bet on it less because I've had a few unsuccessful weekends with it earlier in the season. There was one game I actually forget it was playing, and it was I think it was about 35 shots, and I needed over 2.5 goals, and it finished 2-0, and that just frustrated me to the point. Then I said, right, I'm going to take a break from the Serie B. Do you have anything backed on it yourself?
No, I just seen it there in the live or the in-play thing, and I said I'd throw it over to our expert, but if you've got nothing, I've got nothing.
I'd be inclined to let it go if we get to 30-35 minutes, or maybe, and if it's still 0-0, I could be tempted to back a goal or two. At this stage here, it's not really catching my eye. Like, what's it now? It's still 1-2 for over 1.5 goals. I'll just hang on a bit more there.
The stats are fairly balanced in it. With the shot stats, Perugia have been dominating the possession, all right.
Yep. Back to
just to confirm, that Stockport game isn't on Betfair. You can't watch it there. But if you have other betting accounts, I think Bet365, if you have a bet on the game, they're usually decent for showing matches. But a few of the bookie sites should be showing it, I would think.
Yep. It's an FA Cup game.
Zach Thompson just commented that he loves the Serie B, that it can be a goal fest, and we definitely have had plenty of enjoyment on goal acas in the Serie B over the years.
I don't know what your experience is with it, Zach, but I'll find that I'll put on, say a 4-team or a 5-team ACA of over 2.5 goals, and 4 of the games will have about 100 goals between them, and then I'll get 1-0 or 1-0 stinker to just wreck it. But usually great for a few bets, and it can be very entertaining. I actually find that for some reason the Friday games are often the letdown in the Serie B, so stayed away from this one. If it gets to 0-0, I think I might back over 1.5, but at the minute I've got nothing on it. Spend it in the Fulham game here. In the Serie B game. Sorry, Perugia
it looks like
scored.
An offside from what I'm seeing. It's back. Odds are back now, and nothing changed, so I don't think there's much going on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mind if you guys in the comments have any bets on John or Zach, just let us know what you've backed, and like we said, love to talk about those other people's bets. And again, anyone who just joined us, I can see on Facebook and Twitter as well. We've got a couple of new people in. So what we've got on is we call it We Bet You Win. So we've backed Union Berlin to win. They're currently 1-1. We've backed Union in the Belgian First Division A to win, and both teams to score. It's currently 0-0. It's only a few minutes in. And we've backed the draw in the championship game between Fulham and Bournemouth. So if that lands, it's 45 to 1, so it's about €450, and we'll give that to one of the commenters across our different streams here. So that's the status there. We see Bertie, you've just subscribed, lads. Are you on regular? Say every Friday night at this time, so it's 7:30, UK and Ireland time, and then we'll watch the 7:30, 7:45, and 8 o'clock kickoffs across the different leagues. I see there's been a goal in the Netherlands top division, the harder one to say, the Eredivisie. It's 1-0 to Zwolle away to Groningen. Slats, any thoughts on that one?
No, I had a look at it. I mean, there was plenty of shots in the first half of that, and it looked like Zwolle kind of dominated a little. But it was just they're both toward the bottom of the table, and I just find that risky to bet on because, two teams down the bottom, either of them, they're never going to have any level of consistency. So, you know what I mean? You wouldn't chance back in a winner. I wouldn't chance back in goals either because they both, neither of them are going to be excellent in front of goals. So, I've found those games can let me down a few times. So I avoided it, but it does look like there's been plenty of shots in the first half. So certainly would be no surprise for goals in the second. Another 2 goals is just a little over evens, which might be a good shout, but I'm not going to go at that myself. I just wouldn't trust that game.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. John, you're back. Any comment, any link for the Stockport game? So no, there are usually pretty good ones around. I know that First Row Sports used to be the famous one. So that's where I would usually look if I can't find a game. So
I wouldn't know anything about them.
Hey, you're the market leader in the dodgy links.
I've checked Betfair and Bet365, and neither of them have the Stockport games.
I think it's because it's an FA Cup match. It might be. I know there's different TV rights for the FA Cup, so that could be what's going on.
Yeah, well, Bet365 actually have the Gateshead Charlton game that's on. The other FA Cup game that's on at the same time. I'm not sure if Betfair have that, but yeah, for whatever reason they don't have that Rotherham Stockport game.
Rotterdam. That's just you're looking at too much Dutch football.
Dutch English FA Cup.
Dutch English Cup.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of decent attacks here in the Bournemouth Fulham game. Bournemouth keeper made a decent save from a Fulham shot. It wasn't Mitrovic. I'm not sure which player it was, but there's it's all attacking football, so something's going to happen in this game. Anyway,
I did tail Gary on a bet for that, and it's just a score draw with Mitrovic and Solanke both to score, and it's 23 to 1 for that treble or fourfold, I guess. A draw, both teams to score, Mitrovic to score and Solanke to score. It's coming up as a fourfold, but obviously if both of those score, both teams have to score. So really, it's a treble. Betfair showing it for me as a fourfold, but 23 to 1 doesn't seem a bad price.
It's weird to let them put that into a bet builder though, because they're related markets, right? They generally.
Yeah, but it wouldn't change. If you selected them, I just selected the market of a score draw, and it's in the ACA, it's split that into 2. But we were even talking about it during the week when Gary was putting that bet on, and it doesn't. If you add in both teams to score as a leg, or remove it, the odds don't change anyway. They just stay the same. So, they let you put it in. You could add in over 1.5 goals as well if you wanted, but it wouldn't change the overall odds of the bet.
Yeah.
Oh, I get you. Fair enough.
John, you've asked us, do we think over 2.5 will fall in the Stockport game? So, yeah, I mean, I do like cup games that you know what I mean? Obviously, someone's 1-0 down in this, they're going to go hell for leather to get back into it. If you look at Rotherham's results recently, a lot of they score quite a few goals. They've had a couple of 3-0 and 3-1 wins. I think even if you go back to October, a couple of 5 goal games. And then Stockport are the same. I mean, they scored 4 last time out, 5 the time before that. I think they've scored 5 a couple of times. I think am I right in thinking in the last round of the FA Cup they might have scored 5 as well? I think I saw that somewhere. So, I mean, over 2.5 looks like a good one. We've got Bertie in the comments as well. I'd say so, John. Rotherham flying in League One, yeah. So I'm not a League One expert, but I do recall that they're kind of fond of a goal. So yeah, it's not a bad bet. Let me check the odds on that one myself. There. Sorry, go ahead, PK.
I mean, I find cup games like that, especially when there's a division or two between the teams, pretty hard to evaluate. Like, obviously Rotherham are flying, but like, Rotherham's main concentration will be that league, right? This like, I can see them coming away with a 1-0 here. Now that's not to say, but like that's what I mean. In my head, they're just really hard to evaluate where the goals are especially markers like that. Like it's easy to say Rotherham should win this game, but whether there'll be lots of goals, it's hard to say because of the level of opposition they're both facing. Them, like Rotherham's motivation to go and win it 4-0, like they don't have to. I mean, Rotherham's main thing will be to try and get promotion. FA Cup is going to be, realistically, not much of a concentration point for them this season. I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But just looking at it there, sometimes you see that a very defensive team might come and try and shut up shop. But even if you look at Stockport's record there, like they score and concede an awful lot of goals, so they seem to be kind of an open team anyway at the best of times. So hopefully it does open up when we get the over 2.5. I assume, John, that you've backed over 2.5 in that one. So let us know.
Yeah, it's around evens, I think, for over 2.5. There's a little inside that, maybe 4 to 5 or something.
Right.
Just looking at the Union Berlin game, which obviously started well for us. Berlin went up 1-0, which is what we need in our act at Berlin to win. They were 3-1, but then Leipzig came back and equalised. It's been mainly Leipzig since then. Berlin haven't had a shot since conceding, and Leipzig have had 3 more on target. They scored their first shot, and they've had 3 on target and 2 off target since then. So it's not looking great at the moment, but it's still 1-1. Berlin are obviously have shown they're capable of scoring this game, and they did take the lead. So hopefully they can kind of turn things around there again. But it's looking a bit ropey at the moment. It's just going on 35 minutes. Now that I say it, Berlin just had a shot on target themselves. I'd be happy enough just for this to stay 1-1 going into the second half now.
Yeah.
And maybe they
you'd have to think as well with the injuries and the missing players for Leipzig, that as that wears on, the bench is going to be particularly shallow for them. Any changes might be
exactly
more beneficial for
Berlin.
For Berlin, yeah. This Belgian game here, the Truiden Union game, it's kind of settling into a pattern here of basically just Union attack after Union attack, but not really translating those attacks into any kind of meaningful chances. Been caught offside a couple of times, just overrunning the ball, kind of not the final ball into the box not being great. So kind of like last week, and that'll be my immediate worry, that Union last week had plenty of the ball, had plenty of got into good positions, but just the final ball or the last little pass was never right. And they look a bit the same this week. So I'd be concerned if they conceded first. I mean, they're offside again here now. If they concede first, that the wheels could come off a little bit. So
yeah, just the confidence, like
exactly.
Yeah, we've spoken about before that when you've a favourite to win and both teams to score, you're nearly happy if they go down 1-0. As far as the bet goes, if they go up 1-0, they can kind of take a stranglehold on the game and just kill off the other team before they they even get into it. But based on last week's the way that match went and what you said, you would be kind of hoping they go up 1-0.
Yeah, St. Truiden are nearly out to 4-1 here, 7-2 at the minute with Bet365. Oh God, St. Truiden nearly. Well, the keeper had a cover, but a great shot there. So nothing to worry about yet, but starting to feel maybe we're going in the wrong direction. I'm following the game tracker, by the way. So just for John, I know you're asking about the goals in the Stockport game. Stockport, I'm sure you're aware, but on livescore.com you can kind of watch the game tracker. So it's a similar kind of graphic that we have on the screen there ourselves for the Union game or the Belgian game. And it seems to be quite a lot of Stockport ball. Like they've had 2 corners there in the last couple of minutes, and they're kind of, dare say, on top, which is actually what we'd want. I mean, Stockport goal would put your over 2.5 right in the mix there. So that's a positive sign. And we have another coming in from Joseph, actually nearly makes up the two names. So Joseph, you've asked us, is there going to be 3 goals? So which game are you looking at there, Joseph? I mean, all the games that are on tonight, I think I actually have plenty of goals in them. So I wouldn't be talking you out of that in any match, but let's let us know which match you're specifically talking about.
I'd say that's a continuation comment to the over 2.5, probably in the Stockport one. But yeah, if Joseph could clear that up, we can comment further.
Yeah.
This Fulham game, I might actually turn it on for a while. It's looking pretty lively, and both of those players, I saw Solanke just had a shot off target, and only just before that, Mitrovic had a shot off target. So they're both well in the mix for this game.
Mitrovic just had a shot blocked too when they turned over the ball in good position. It's
you're actually watching it there. I think I'm going to throw it on myself.
Yeah, it's very end to end, so it is. It's pretty open. So I haven't seen
that same game, that bet builder I have with both of those players to score and the match to finish a draw. I was saying it's about 23-1. So yeah,
Solanke just missed a really good chance. Header.
Really, did he?
Yeah, a good cross into the back post, and he came in front of the defender, and he headed it wide. I'm watching the replay now, but it looked like a great chance. First look.
Really strange. They've taken down, the odds for Mitrovic and Solanke to have shots on target. So they're both just gone. Can't back either of them.
That's strange, isn't it?
They both had shots.
Updating maybe, or
yeah, it could be that. It could be, if they're counting, if the shot was on target or off target or something.
Yeah,
like that.
they could be kind of reviewing it themselves because they did both just have shots in the last couple of minutes. Surely they'll, those odds will come back up at some point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, Mitrovic is offside, but I haven't seen anything on target from either myself. Now, but they've both been in the thick of the action on both ends. Like, this is end to end.
Yeah, we have a comment in from John Keane. Looks like Solanke just had his nose broken and actually wasn't him. So obviously hard luck on whoever that nose does belong to. But thankfully for the Mets, it's not Solanke.
Solanke did get a knock to the head, and he's wearing a head wrap now, but there didn't seem to be much to it. To why he put it on, because I don't think he was cut or anything, but maybe he was. Maybe I missed it, but yeah, you wouldn't get away with it. You wouldn't be getting your head wrapped in the League of Ireland for the likes of that anyway.
Yeah, do you know what? I've been watching a lot of the Liga MX, the Mexican Primeira division, and it's so great to see like huge tackles going in and no cards, barely getting frees, like real serious tackles, like watching football from sort of 5, 10, maybe like 10, 15 years ago in reality. It's really refreshing.
Even more than that, but yeah. And do they roll around after the tackles, or do they just get back up?
Not really. I mean, more than they would have done 40 years ago, but nothing like you see in the European leagues at the minute.
Right.
There was one tackle I was watching the Pumas Atlas game last night, and Big launched himself into the tackle through the air, studs up, but he got the ball and then went through the ball and smashed the other fella out of it. It was a red card in the Premier League every day of the week. He booked him, and then he went over and checked VAR, and he just took away the yellow card because he got the ball first and didn't even give a red, didn't give anything. And in the end, he turned away the free kick and he did a drop ball. And I was like, this is unbelievable.
I haven't seen that in VAR in any European football where a card was revoked like that.
Yeah, but even the free kick was taken away. It was really good. So, the crowd gets so riled up for it. Then, you know what I mean? The home team love it, and the team who were the victim of the foul get angry, and it just makes the atmosphere as well great. So yeah, it was great to see.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the shots on target here, and it's Adam Smith and Cabano have the two, one for each side
so far. Okay,
yeah, so it's not but so I haven't missed anything, but I'm trying to keep an eye here now. But it's a very active game, which is, in that regard, we just want to see, hopefully it ends 1-1.
Yeah. Mitrovic, his odds came back for a minute there. He was 6-5 for 2 shots on target. He opened up at 8-11, and Dominic Solanke has gone out to 9-5. I can't recall what he actually opened at. So 2 shots off target for Mitrovic so far, and I believe none for Solanke, if I'm reading the statistics right here.
Well, he definitely had a header.
That he did have one. few minutes
That
ago.
could be just a mistake in the stats, so I wouldn't.
Mitrovic
trust
just
your
had a
eyes.
header that was going to go on target, but it was blocked by a defender challenging him for the header. So, I mean, the two of them are well involved. So,
Yeah, but
It's early
Zach in the
yet as
comments
well.
has told us that that double that was called out at the start of the show, so Mitrovic 2 shots on target, Solanke 2 shots on target, is now 12-1. So that's looking like great value there, all right.
Yeah, given they're both in the mix, or having a few chances early on.
Yeah, a lot of tackles going in here in Belgium in the Truiden game. Not awful tackles, but it's just getting a bit scrappy. The ref has had to blow his whistle a lot of times. So yeah, not loving the way this game has started. Third corner for Stockport in the FA Cup against Rotherham. So they seem to be on a playing all right. They're playing better than you might think with the gap in the division. So 25 minutes gone there, still 0-0, but plenty of time for those goals to come.
This Berlin game has just gone 40 minutes now. I only switched it back on a few minutes ago, and it was all Leipzig. After I switched it on, they had a couple of chances. It looks like one of those games that's kind of about 87 minutes, and Berlin are just trying to run down the clock. You don't usually see that, a team running down the clock going into halftime, but that's the impression I get from the kind of way they're playing football, kicking it back to the keeper and out to the fullbacks, and just trying to keep possession and not even going into the opposition half with it.
Just getting to halftime. While we're approaching halftime there, it might be a good chance to just plug the website here. So obviously the stream here tonight, you can see SRD and SportsRunDown.com plastered all over everything we're doing. So we have a website that we, ourselves and a couple of other friends have, and colleagues, I suppose you could call them, but realistically friends who do sports, league specific tips each weekend. So you can see on the screen there, we've got Enzo's Insights. We've got the Serie A, French Ligue 1, EFL with Gary, who's usually with us. He's not here tonight. We've got La Liga. We've already got kind of all your major European football leagues. They've got American football, college football, horse racing, a lot of content over there. But we'll call out tonight some of Enzo's Insights. So this is the Serie A for the weekend. So Enzo's on a good run. He picked out Juventus to win 2-0 during the week, and it was a good bet. And he had a couple of other ones. So he's got 3 more for us this week's stats, I think.
Yeah, and just as you were saying, the win 2-0, he's gone for a similar one with AC Milan playing Salernitana, which, excuse my pronunciation if that isn't anywhere
playing
close.
Sal. That's what we call them.
Yeah, that's it for. So it's a similar bet to win 2-0. He just goes through how Sal have struggled to score since changing manager there recently. They've only scored in 2 games, 3 goals in their 6 outings, and 2 of those came in the same game. So across the other 5, they only got 1 goal. Milan had a bit of a blip in their form. Their unbeaten run came to an end, and I think they had back-to-back losses, if that's right, but they rebounded, as Enzo says, beating Genoa 3-0 during the week. So, he thinks that blip has come to an end. The form is back, and 11-10 does look pretty decent for a win 2-0. They're at home. They don't concede a huge amount, and they're playing against the team who don't score very many at all, or certainly haven't in their last 6 games. So that's the first of his 3. The next is Napoli Atalanta, which he's describing as the game of the weekend, and understandably so.
Can't wait to watch that one.
Yeah, should be a great match. So tough to call any result there. He's avoided that, and instead he's gone for Mario Pasalic. Anytime goal score at 9-2. So he's scored 6 goals in his last 4, and kind of pointing out that fair enough, it's tough opposition away to Napoli, but just based on that form, 9-2, and I mean, I would agree with him. It seems very high for a player who's 6 goals in their last 4 games to score one.
Yeah.
So that's the second bet. The third is Venezia versus Verona. And it just, as he describes it, it looks like a tight game. He's kind of talking about how Venezia are very unpredictable, beating the likes of Fiorentina and Roma, and then losing to Sal and Spezia.
Yeah, it's crazy results.
It is a bit mad, all right. So he thinks they could have a bit of an edge here, but just the fact that it's a tight game and they are a bit inconsistent, he thinks the draw is the best value at 12-5. So that's the third there. Pretty decent value across those three, with a 9-2, a 12-5, and an 11-10. He hasn't put in a treble. I think you actually mentioned what that paid as a treble, though, LB. I think it would be pretty decent if you fancied it.
Yeah, Enzo never does trebles. He'd be quite a conservative bettor in his own right. So he tries to just tip what he would bet and not go chasing points or anything like that. But usually when I see his articles, I throw them in as a treble myself. So I'm after confusing it in my head with the treble we have on tonight of 45-1.
I thought it was around that level. The odds were not far off that anyway.
Let me check it there while you're talking.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, even individually, like that anytime goal score 9-2, just as a single is great odds, and the draw in the Venezia Verona game does seem pretty decent value at 12-5. The Milan one is obviously a bit tighter, but they're odds on to win the match, and it just does feel pretty unlikely that they're going to concede. You could see them just comfortably like 2-0, maybe 3-0. So like, yeah, it's only
40-1 the treble.
Bit of a banker. What's the treble, LB? 40-1. Yeah, I knew it was close to our own 45-1 live ACCA that we have going on here. And speaking of which, it's gone to half time in the Union Berlin. So I'm happy enough. That could have fully turned around. They went up 1-0 and then conceded. It looked like Leipzig might have taken the lead. So happy enough to see that go to halftime.
Actually, just get a breather there and get back on track after halftime. We have a comment in from Bertie. Charlton have a decent side out and are drifting towards evens. PK, we'll go to you on that one. What are your thoughts?
I was just doing a bit of research on it, and I have to apologise to Bertie because Charlton have scored while I was looking at it. But I couldn't see any reason why they wouldn't win. I was kind of curious as to why they were 1.7 to start the game, or 7-10 in other terms. But yeah, they're a couple of divisions above them, and just.
I mean, they're into 2-9 now. That's a huge movement. Obviously, it's only one goal, so yeah, it looks like a good call there from Bertie. Hopefully, you got on it yourself. Apologies we didn't address your comment earlier, but anyone watching us on YouTube will hopefully have seen that comment as well and gotten in.
And while we were talking there too, Solanke missed a very good chance. He could have scored 2 by now, but neither of them have been on target. So it's just killer. He could be 2 goals, 2 shots on target, but I mean, there's only half an hour gone, so there's loads of time for him to find the shots and the goals still. So
maybe the shots are not a great shot on target, are not a great hedge for the goals market. So when we see players like this not even hitting the target, they're very, very related markets there. Still tracking this, game tracker on live score of the Rotherham Stockport, and Stockport are really in this. Plenty of dangerous attacks, plenty of getting right down into the Rotherham box, or just outside the box. So hopefully, John, if you're still watching that, or if you manage to get your hands on a link there, let us know what you're thinking. Presumably, you're a Stockport fan based on the comments, but let us know anyway which way you're leaning.
I was thinking that usually if you describe a game as, when you say the Stockport game when they're the away team, it would definitely show favour to that team.
What I find is if you're talking amongst fans, so if you had 2 Liverpool fans, they wouldn't be saying the Liverpool game, they'd be saying who the opponent is. If Liverpool are against Everton, like during the week, you'd be saying, you're going to watch the Everton game. But if you're saying it to a complete stranger, like if you're in a bar and you wanted to see it, will you put on the match? Like you're going to say your team. You're not going to say the other team. Yeah.
And a neutral, I think, would generally say the home team if you were just to say one, like so.
Oh, goal for our guys, Union, 1-0 up. Lovely. Exactly what we needed there.
Very good.
Complete blank. I kind of hesitated there because his celebration was really tame. So maybe he actually used to play for us in Truiden here. He didn't really celebrate, so I thought it was going to get brought back for offside. But no, see the replay here. Definitely not offside. Awful defending. Absolutely awful defending. Yeah, so that is 1-0 to the Royals, as they call themselves. 2 players tracked. Sorry, go ahead, PK.
The guys in the comments are doing well. The Birdie got on the Charlton, and it seems that Zach followed him, so they're both doing well.
It's not home yet. Well, look, we got to go
it's early, all right, but it's lovely when you're just kind of eyeing up those sort of odds, and you go for it, get on it, and the goal comes quick. Because like when you were looking at Porto there a while ago, PK, and the goal came too early, that can often happen. So it's nice when you just hit that timing perfectly.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm just looking at the shot stats in the Bournemouth. Bournemouth Fulham game, and Solanke's had 3 shots, and Mitrovic has had 2, and none on target between the two of them. 0 out of 5.
That's mad. That women's Dutch game that I spoke about a while ago, it was 1-1 at halftime. I was saying I wouldn't be surprised if they both scored again in the second half. It's 2-2 now.
Nice.
So I know you give me a bit of a slagging for betting on women's football.
It's not that you bet on it, it's just how much time you spend watching it, Slash. That's my only question.
Remember the time you lost our rollover on?
Well, that's what I get reminded about a lot.
That's all I ever think
that
of.
Dutch women's division is a league absolutely full of goals. So
I still reckon it's the only 0-0 in the last 2 years is what you put our pot on.
It seemed to be. I'm a bit unsure if that game was even played. It's a bit of a conspiracy.
Definitely games you see on these bookie sites that are definitely not real games. You're like,
Slats has been emailing people and searching every website and everything to get video footage of this game. Like
learning Dutch so I can like look at official.
I need evidence that it's happened.
Just to go back to the Belgium goal there was a long ball up, kind of, just a kick out, headed on from, around the centre circle. And the Union winger just tore off after the ball towards the corner. And the 2 of the Truiden defenders went with him and just left the entire box empty. And then the third defender didn't track the man, just sort of stayed in the middle of the box. It's just like a low cross in and to an unmarked centre forward in the middle of the box, and he tapped it in. So, like, you'd get in trouble if you were playing like under 16s and you played like that. 2 guys going to the ball, leaving the box, leaving your man unmarked. It was really, really awful stuff. St. Truiden have come tearing out since the restart. They've actually had 2 chances since then. Forced the Union keeper out of the box both times. So kind of like that they're fighting on here now, and they haven't sort of dropped their heads. I think they're pretty used to losing, so I don't think that goal will be a shock to them or the home fans. So game has taken a new breath of life there 35 minutes in. So very happy to see that. Plenty of dangerous attacks as well in the FA Cup in the Rotherham Stockport game. So hopefully for John,
it's suspended now. The Rotherham Stockport game is suspended, and it had Stockport on the attack when it did.
That'd be ideal. Ideal for goals and ideal for John if you're a Stockport fan. And Joseph Kotsky, you asked if it would be 3 goals. I think an away underdog scoring first is pretty much ideal what you want for a goals bet. You keep an eye on that one for us, Slats, if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, it's a yellow card to Rotherham, so it's definitely looks like a foul. It had just come up as a injury to Stockport, so it's really just a question of if it's inside the box or if it's just going to be a free kick. Sometimes when it looks like there's going to be a card, the markets go suspended in case it's a red card, which obviously would have a big impact on the odds. So it's still suspended and it's shown a yellow. It could just be taking a while to come back, or else it's going to tell me that it's a penalty, hopefully. But I'll let you know. The odds have come back here now, and no, it's no penalty. Offside Stockport, but not even a free kick. I don't know how Rotherham get a free kick and a yellow card in the same movement.
Unless they just took it and offside.
Maybe they just tried taking a sneaky quick free kick and were offside.
Yeah, that was a great attack here now for St. Truiden. Come on. Oh, just inches wide. Had the keeper beat as well.
Could be a penalty for Fulham. Oh no, there's no VAR in Championship, right? So.
Oh, I don't know. Actually, no, that's where we need Gaz on the.
No, I don't think there's any VAR in lower league football, or lower than the Premier League. Sorry, but it looked dodgy. There's a replay here now. Oh, he wins the ball. It's a lot of man, just a slight flick on the ball.
It's a lot of man.
So many chances in the first half of that game. It's actually mad that it's still nil-all.
I'm going to wait till half time. It was something I was going to bring up, but if this gets to half time nil-all, I'll probably go over 1.5 in the second half. There has to be goals in this game.
It's only 4-6 for that now, but that'll move toward evens pretty quickly, I'd imagine.
Yeah, evens would be my number I'm looking for there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's made it to halftime in the Serie B without a goal. So I'm going to check here now. So, hold on, come on. Truiden should have scored, and I can't even speak about how bad that was. It was a 3-on-2 in the box. The guy gets to the end line, probably on where the 6-yard box meets the byline, and he could have taken a step and tried to shoot. He could have passed it to one of his mates, and he just drilled it across the box out for a throw in on the far side of the pitch. Absolutely the worst bit of play I've seen in a long time. So it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise that St. Truiden don't score many, but that's 3 pretty decent chances since they conceded, and it's exactly what we want to see here. I'd love this to go 1-1 before halftime.
Speaking of bad play, did any see De Gea against Arsenal?
God, yeah. We talked about this offline, PK, at the time. I'm not sure if you saw it, Slats, but I'll let PK talk you through some pretty lame goalkeeping, I suppose.
I didn't actually catch it, but yeah, go on. Let me in.
It's bizarre because the corner came in and those people around his area, like, and the ball moved about a bit, and Fred, I think, ended up standing on his foot or ankle.
Yeah.
He kind of clipped the back of his ankle, which is sore, right? But the ball went up in the air, and it's a corner, like, and De Gea decided to just go on the ground and stay on the ground, and then Smith Rowe must have realised or whatever and just took a pop shot from the edge of the box and it went in the corner to go with De Gea on the ground. Like, what? Like, the ball was never fully out of the box, so I don't know why. Like, was he expecting people to kick it out of play? No one even really knows he was on the ground. So like,
no, but he was looking the wrong way. Like, he was lying on the ground looking into his own goal. Like, it was disgraceful.
Man, like, I get it. You're probably really injured, but you're a goalkeeper in a really, like, in the opposition's attacking situation. You've got to stay on your feet there.
Of any player,
he was staying again 30 seconds later.
Yeah. In my eyes, the only reason there's not a bigger deal made of it is because United ended up winning, right?
Yeah, 100%. That would have been.
Game and you're like, geez, this guy's an idiot. Like, what was he like? He could genuinely be injured, like, but he'd have to go off injured for me to consider it enough to not stay on your feet there. In that, do you know what?
It became a thing with head injuries that if a player went out for head injuries, the ref stopped the game. And now there's this weird, like, if a player is down, you should stop. If a player is down, tough luck. Like, I mean, your guy is down, to just play on, and it's up on your own guys to just, bust along to get the ball back and kick it out. Now, sometimes if it looks like a really serious injury, or if, like, someone maybe lands on their neck or something, fine. But just, like, it was a badly cleared corner from United, giving Smith Rowe a volley from the edge of the box. Like, that's poor. You can't kind of give up a chance like that because one of your own players kicked you in the back of the leg. Like, I think it's really poor. And then, like you said, PK, the fact that he just stayed down as well was criminal, and he's going to get away with it because pretty much Ronaldo saved his hind. But if United hadn't come back to win, even if it had stayed 2-2, never mind, losing the game, I think there would have been uproar over it.
I mean, you just make sure that one of your own players gets it there, right, and let them kick it out of play. You can go down if your own team has it in some sort of possession or whatever, but when the ball's in the air and the other team is still in attacking mode, what are you doing? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's the way the big 5 European leagues have sort of gone at the minute. They get treated so well and they're so protected that they just expect it now all the time. And I mean, we've all played sports to different degrees and different types of sports. You get kicked in the back of the leg 10 times in a training session, and it hurts and it's not nice, and I certainly wouldn't want to be getting kicked in the back of the ankle or stood in the back of the ankle. But you're getting paid as a professional. You stay up for another 15 seconds to make sure you don't concede and then go down and get the treatment. It's really... I was kind of delighted that he paid the price for it, and then obviously he kind of, like I said, he got out of jail free then with Ronaldo later on, but disappointing to see. While we were talking, Stockport have conceded, so it's 1-0 Rotherham in the FA Cup, so I'm not sure if you're still with us, John. Hopefully
a bit of mayhem here in the Fulham Bournemouth game. Let me see.
Yeah, we've got a couple of comments in about that. Some dive by Wilson. He's matching Mo Salah, so Bertie Smith is clearly not a Liverpool fan. And then Zach says that Fred's a liability, but De Gea is a young cat. So not a fan of either of those guys. Yeah, I think De Gea was is very soft there. Fred is an absolute liability. I don't know how he didn't get booked in that game, to be quite honest.
I know we've discussed this before, but what's the definition of a shot and target? Like, if the defender dives on the ground and blocks out his chest in front of the keeper, will that count?
No, if the keeper's behind him, it won't count. So it was going to
It's
go
a
in
block
except for the
shot.
keeper. It'll be a block, yeah. If the keeper wasn't there, it would count.
Last defender, is the only
That's
one
four.
who can block it for it to be on
4
target.
shots from Mitrovic so far. No, none on target technically. Even though that one was going in. I'm not sure I agree with Wilson diving there. I mean, I like the guy clipped the ball behind him a bit around his legs, so I don't think he could have known the guy won the ball that cleanly, and he got a lot of his legs. I'm pretty sure most players would have went down there in the modern game. Like you mightn't do it in Sunday League football, and you probably definitely wouldn't get it. But this is Premier League, right? Or sorry, just below the Premier League. So you're gonna take your chance there to get your penalty.
Yeah.
So I mean, he did catch the man too. So I'm not sure how much of a dive it was, but
yeah. By the way, while you were talking, PK, there was an unbelievable save by the St. Truiden goalkeeper in Belgium here, corner. The defenders weren't too bad, but the centre forward for Union managed to get up really high and just power the header into the side. Looked like it was going to go in just inside the far post, and somehow, I don't know how, the keeper got across the goal. He was at the near post and kept it out. So absolutely incredible save there. Kept the game from going 2-0. I'd probably prefer this to go 1-1 before it goes 2-0, so can't say I'm too disappointed with that save as we approach the end of the first half there, but absolute rocket, belter of a save.
Generally, when you want both teams scoring, it's the away team might prefer to go 2-0 up because the home team tend to press then in the second half. The earlier the better too, right? Because, well, if you want both teams to score, but you've a better angle or a better view of it than me.
Just that Union are steamrolling people in Belgium at the minute. Other than last week when we backed them, their previous games are like 5-0, 4-0, 7-1, scores like that. They're just, I'd be slightly worried that St. Truiden the heads might drop. Like I said, they haven't yet, but 2-0 at half time is very different. And I think if it goes 1-1, having scored first, I don't see, already Union look an awful lot more settled than they did last week, having scored first, and they're kind of getting back into the rhythm. So I think it's more likely that they'd score a winner with the game 1-1 than Union would concede after going 2-0 up. That's my theory.
I'm saying Rotherham are 1-0 up in Stockport.
Say that again, PK. Sorry.
I'm saying Rotherham are 1-0 up against Stockport now.
Yeah, we mentioned that, but I was just going to say that, like, for backing over 2.5 goals, we've often said it that you really want one of them to come in the first half at least. If you're getting to 0-0 half time and need 3 second half goals, it really starts making the bet feel a bit unlikely. 1-0 is so different. You just need 2 goals second half. It's absolutely on. So yeah, I'm sure the guys who backed that would be pretty happy with that 43rd minute goal when it was looking a little dodgy.
Literally after logging on to Bet365 to have a look at what odds Porto were to score another goal in that game, and they scored.
Really?
You know what, PK? You have some ability to send me a text of an in-play bet, and before I can even get into Betfair, they've scored. So you flirt with that line so closely that it's all surprise.
It's all about timing. Like, it's the timing of value, right? Because you're always looking for, mostly you're looking for that even money kind of number, and then the minute it's there, and if it happens 2 minutes later, you're delighted. But
for another goal on Bet365 anyway, in that game it's 5-6, so it might have been just a little under evens. It could have been heartbreaking waiting for that to hit evens for a second goal, and go in just before.
Twice in that game now I've been snagged.
That's pretty harsh.
But no, we'll keep an eye out. No, I don't think Porto have to do anything else in that game, so I wouldn't go putting any more money on another goal there, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't see them conceding. PK, you like the ones where it's an odds-on team who the game stays 0-0 and they drift to around evens. Now, I don't have a clue about Polish football, but I can see in their top league, Górnik Zabrze.
What's it called, Slats? What's the top league called?
It's
go on.
Ekstraklasa, is it?
Yeah, Ekstraklasa. Yeah,
that's the one. Górnik Zabrze versus Lask Warsaw.
This is exactly my kind of game.
So they've had 13 shots. I don't know now who you'd expect to win there, but Zabrze have they're at halftime. They've gone to 6-5. So obviously at kickoff they must have been odds on there. They've gone to just above evens now. They had 13 shots to 3 in the first half, 5 on target to 1. The possession is balanced enough, 56% to 44. But just those shots and the fact, I'm only basing it on the fact that their evens now are a little above evens, meaning they must have been favourites at the start. I don't know if you or if any of the viewers have any insight to that game. If they think now it might be a good bet on a home win there at 6-5, let us know.
Yeah, the Ravens at the beginning, but I'm looking and I can't figure out any reason. And now it's not a league that I know much about, but that's last Rocklaw have the 5th best away record in the league, having scored 16 and conceded 14, like 11 points. And like Gornick's home record is scored 10, conceded 9 in 8 games. Unless there's something we don't know about in the Slas Rocklaw squad and whatever else, but it's not a league that I know much about, so I'm not going to have any sort of info on that. I don't understand the odds.
No, they sounds like a bit of value there, all right, the way you're saying it. Although you're looking at it the opposite of Slats, so
you're the opposite there, aren't you? Yeah.
Well, the stats are saying otherwise, right? I mean,
the in-play stats does back up the fact that they're evens to win now. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I like pre-game, I wouldn't be taking even money there in the home team. I mean, I'm just looking at their sorry, it's just stuff that I look at in their recent record. That home team lost to Zwolle at home, 1-0, 3 games ago, and then 3 games ago the away team away to Zwolle beat them 5-0. Now the away team Slask have lost their last 2 home games or away games, but I don't know.
Berlin just robbed the ball off the keeper now. The ref has given a free out.
All right, God.
Yeah,
we're into the second half there. That snuck around that.
Sorry, it's only on a few minutes. The keeper, he throws the ball up to go to kick it out, and the Union player steps across his path. He doesn't really impede him. I mean, he does. He gets in the keeper's way from swinging the boot at it, but he doesn't kick the keeper. He just gets in between the keeper and the ball. I'm a little surprised that the ref gave that as a free out.
We've one here for you, Slats. We've got to watch you in the comments. Come on, Volendam, shot on goal, 1-2. So I presume that is to a scoreline of 2-1 and not odds of 1-2 for another shot on target. Slats, you any thoughts on the Volendam game from beforehand?
I mean, I think Volendam are top. Am I right? They're 1-1. They've absolutely dominated that game. 14 shots to 4. They went 1-0 down in the first half and equalized just before halftime. And I definitely would have expected second half goals and probably Volendam to kick on and win it. There's less than 10 minutes left and they're 15-8 to win it.
So maybe what you want to tell us in the comments, do you have that already backed? Do you have a bet there? Maybe you're a Volendam fan, you're hoping for a winner, or do you, like you said, you have an over 2.5 or a Volendam win, or what are you looking at there? I'm just looking through the live matches here, and there's that French league, the second division of French football. I know you were definitely in the same office as me at the time in PK. I'm not sure if you were still around at the time, but we used to put on the Friday Acas of goals in that league, and it's definitely it was a money pit in terms of like looking at it here. 0-0, 1-0, 0-0, 0-0, 1-0, 0-0.
Yeah, it's what I've come to learn is horrible for goals.
Yeah.
Just going back to that Dutch game. Yeah, Volendam are top of the table. Helmond are 17th of 20, so down near relegation. I was looking at that for I like we've spoken about before, the away favourites and both teams to score, but I just didn't have faith in Helmond getting a goal there at all. Now they've only had 2 shots on target, so I guess it did come a little against the run of play, but definitely would have been expecting Volendam to win. And I'm just wondering, they're 11-5 now to win 7 minutes. You're up against it. I'd be interested to know, is there any likelihood of 5+ minutes injury time there? Because
it'd be nice to know, yeah.
Yeah, 7 to go is just, it's a bit too short for me to be getting on that. But
6-4 for a goal is actually kind of tempting because maybe they kind of overstretch or something like that. Who knows? Maybe you lose too much value though in compared to the 11-5.
Yeah, I'd be. It'd definitely be quite an upset. I mean, like Helmet are 12-1 to go on and win the game, so they're not
Yeah.
really expected to score. But
Oh.
who knows? I think I'd be
Yeah.
back in Volendam if I was going to back anything there.
It's gone suspended in the Serie B. I actually missed getting that bet on. Hopefully he's let it go.
Perugia scored, right? It was with
Well-
VAR, but I think they scored. I think it was confirmed.
Yeah, it's looking that way to me. It's still suspended on Bet365, but it's showing 1-0 Perugia, and it's looking as if the match has restarted. Yeah, they're 2-9.
Yeah, it's back now. It was outside 4-1 for 1.5 in that and the Fulham games. I don't know why I do know because I'm absolutely useless. So anyone who's not familiar with the show, I have a great track record of not getting bets on, and that is another one there. So hopefully somebody else managed to do it.
Porto scored again, so my luck in that game, I said they've no reason to go and try and get another one. But let's forget that game ever happened.
Yeah, a lot of lost potential there.
Yeah, lots, but there's still potential out there, so I'll keep an eye out for whatever else is happening. What other one did I have? No, lost that too, and lost my trail of thought. Bad. Oh yeah, sorry, I got on the over 1.5 in the second half of the Bournemouth game now. Bournemouth Fulham. It's 10-11. It's okay. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, Perugia just scored again. LB. That's probably why yours was suspended.
Oh God.
The Union Berlin keeper, the ball was kind of passed back to him. I mean, it was a bit of a tight, like a sharp enough pass back toward him to deal with, but he just swung and missed, and the ball just went in through his legs and kind of clipped his ankles and went out for a corner, but it just went straight past him. If he had been standing, I know, like, it's one of those kind of schoolboy rules that if you're doing a pass back to the keeper, don't hit it on target, like hit it wide of the goal for the keeper. But if it had been hit toward the goal there, it was just going to roll into the net for a disastrous own goal. It went out for a corner, and he came out and claimed it assuredly to redeem some bit of respect, I suppose. But it was a dodgy moment. There's a bit of snow coming down in that game, so I don't know. Maybe that was putting him off a little. Maybe it's a bit slippy and there was snow in his eyes or something. But that was dodgy. They're on a decent enough attack here, 2-2. Berlin are, so maybe they can make something of this. They've
hopefully just for anyone who's watching this, we've got an increase in viewers across the three platforms. So we have a bet on tonight. It's Union Berlin to win that game. It currently 1-1. We've got Union in Belgium, Royal Union to win, and both teams to score. It's currently 1-0, and then we got a draw in the Fulham Bournemouth game in the Championship in England. So they're all looking pretty good, and we have €10 on that, which will pay 450 if they all win, and we will give that money should the bet win to either the best comment or the most engaged comment across YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. So, watch you, John, Joseph, the guys commented in, Bertie and Zach on YouTube. Keep commenting away. We got a few on Facebook as well. So make sure to keep those comments coming, and obviously cheer on that bet if you want a chance of winning the €450 that hopefully comes our way if these goals keep coming. It's looking okay. I mean, we could certainly be in a much worse position than we are at the minute. So I'm happy with the way it's looking.
That Perugia goal got taken off the second one, so it's back to 1-0. As far as
okay. That Polish game we were just looking at, Groningen, the home team, went up 1-0 there. Just a few minutes into the second half.
Anybody watching the Bundesliga?
Oh shit, no. Oh, Berlin up 2-1. Oh, I flicked off to.
Wow.
It hasn't even showed it on my stream here. Corner kick, lovely finish actually. A good training ground set piece looking move. Kind of ball played along the ground toward the edge of the box, and the Berlin player came coming in onto the ball, left foot, just hit it along the ground toward the corner. The keeper should have been saved by the keeper. I would say. I'll have to see a replay, but
nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. 2-1 Berlin.
What's the cash out on the bet? I know we're not obviously going to take it.
Oh, sorry. It took a huge deflection. Sorry. The shot came in from the edge of the box, took a massive deflection, and it landed right in front of another Berlin player in front of goal. The keeper already dived out to his right. just the easiest of finishes. Now he was put under a bit of pressure from the defender, but the ball just fell to his feet. The keeper was gone, and he just had to hit it into an empty goal. So yeah, it wasn't. I kind of unfairly said the keeper should have stopped that. There wasn't much he could do about that whatsoever.
Oh yeah, well we'll take it anyway. 2-1 Union Berlin. So now we need nothing really to happen in Berlin. A goal each for Union and Truiden in Belgium, and then a goal each in the championship would do us no harm either, because I know Gary might have that himself with both teams to score. So looking pretty good now, really. Not a huge amount to worry about. For what you looking at the Volendam game, it's now 89 minutes, and I don't think Volendam have had another shot since we started looking at it. So not ideal, and should soon be coming back from the FA Cup in the Rotherham Stockport game.
Yeah, it's into the 90 minute, like you were saying, LB. Volendam didn't have another shot, so yeah, I mean, we were probably right to avoid that. We were kind of talking about how much injury time maybe there could be there, and they're 11-2 now. If it was one of these games that had like 5 minutes of injury time, Volendam are going to be 6 or 7-1 going into injury time. I'd be tempted, but I'll let you know when it comes up. It's literally just hit 90 minutes this second, so we should see how much injury time there's going to be there any second now.
Yeah. While we're waiting for that to come, we're going to excuse me, I've got a bit of a cough. We're going to check out another aspect of SportsRunDown.com. So Savage, who was on our stream last week, he has the La Liga lowdown. So he's an expert on all things Spanish football, and he's an article. It's a slightly different style article than the rest of the ones on SportsRunDown.com. He looks at the best goal of the week, the best game of the week, and kind of has a La Liga roundup from the week before, and then looks at his best bets of the week ahead. So he's previewed the Barcelona Real Betis game. That is the Saturday afternoon one. He said that Barcelona, they put a bit of a gloss on the scoreline last week when they kind of scored late against Villarreal, but the reality was that they looked kind of, I forget the phrase he used, but they were kind of, a bit confused, didn't really know what to do for a lot of that game. He liked both teams to score there. Both of them are scoring and conceding. So it seems like a solid bet there, slightly odds on, but a good one there for any Akas over the weekend. The next game he's looked at is Atletico Madrid-Mallorca. He said Atletico's kind of performances in the league are in stark contrast to the Champions League. I think they lost 3 on the bounce in the UCL, and they're kind of going nowhere. They could finish second, third, or fourth in their group. They could actually be finished their European campaign in the Europa League or progress in the Champions League, depending on how that last game goes. But in the Liga, they've only lost 1 game so far in the whole league. Despite that, with a lot of draws, they've actually kind of coughed up a lot of late goals, and they're now 7 points behind their city rivals, Real Madrid. So this game at home to Mallorca is kind of a must-win for them. They're kind of traditionally low-scoring games for Atletico, but Savage reckons this could actually be a high-scoring one. So he likes goals here. The Islanders, as he calls them, Mallorca, that their form is pretty terrible. Like, they can't really do anything. And Atletico seem to kind of be finally taking a handbrake off it, to use his phrase, and they're scoring a lot more goals the last couple. So he likes goals in that one, which might not have been the obvious choice. And then there's the top of the table 6-pointer, Sociedad hosts Madrid, so that the 2 Reals play that I think is the Saturday night game, so 8 p.m. in Ireland and the UK, 9 o'clock in Spain. Sociedad lost their first game of the season last week against Espanyol, or certainly after a huge run, maybe 13 games unbeaten. They lost Espanyol, and now they need to bounce back quickly if they're going to have any kind of hope of stopping Real Madrid. Like we said, they're 7 points clear at the top of the table. They're scoring for fun. They look, they look champions in waiting. Really, I'm not sure if anyone's going to catch them. So it's a tough one for Sociedad. He thinks they might be able to put it up to Madrid a little bit. The best centre back in Spain, in Savage's opinion, is a guy called Imanol, who's he's the manager. But he thinks Sociedad have the best centre back in Spain, and he reckons that it should be a good game. Obviously, it's going to be a huge sort of decider for the league, because if Madrid don't win, their league could be cut to 4, or they could even be 10 points clear, depending on how the weekend results go. So that's his sort of bet there. But he likes Madrid to win with plenty of goals, I think, is the angle in that game. So it's an interesting one. I like the look of it. The ACA together of those 3 games he's got is 17-2. So not as juicy as the 45-1 tonight, but plenty of juice there at the same time.
Yeah, I would take a 17-2 treble. All right.
Yeah.
Yep. Any day of the week.
That
Yeah.
Madrid game should be a decent one. Madrid away to Sociedad.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though Madrid are kind of, well, they're not odds-on favourites, but they're 6-5, like the reasonable favourites, and they're top of the table. But first away to third, and as Savage was saying, Sociedad kind of need to bounce back a bit after that defeat. So you'd expect at home, they'll go for it. They'll go guns blazing.
Yeah.
And could be high scoring. All right.
We have a comment in a slightly different topic. Mitesh, you've asked us how many extra minutes or how much extra time in the Volendam game. So I didn't see how much is added on. It's into the 94th minute now.
It's just gone into the 95th now. Yeah, it didn't show. Bet365 is usually good for showing injury time of games, and it didn't show up for that. But there's no odds. There's all markets are suspended now, so it must be
scored. I think.
Oh, lovely.
Yep, Solanke scored.
Oh,
sweet.
Good stuff. That was Gaz's angle, I believe, in the article. Am I right in remembering that? So fair play to Gaz, even in absentia there. You've picked the winner out for us, so very good stuff. It's back on the Rotherham game. PK, did you see that goal? Do you want to talk us through
it? Pretty rudimental football. The ball over the top to a man that was quicker than a centre back, and he held him off with a little bit of physicality and a first time shot on a nice bounce, and it rifled into the top of the net. It was a very good finish, considering I think he had better chances than that. But a very good finish, and a very good start to my bet at the beginning of the second half for the over 1.5 goals.
Both of those games that we called out for second half goals couldn't have started better in terms of, Perugia and Bournemouth scoring early in the second half. It is now inside evens for over 2.5 in the Fulham game. Looks good. And I mean, in terms of a draw and a score draw that Gaz had picked out, the away team to score first is exactly what we wanted. You mentioned that earlier, PK, about the home team having to keep pushing on. So looking good there.
Yes. Especially in tight games like this where, where they're both top of the table and for promotion, obviously, to the Premier League, so they don't want to lose ground to their main rival. So Bournemouth Fulham won't be sitting on this. I wouldn't have thought any, that's for sure.
Yeah, John A, you're back in the comments. Do we think that the Rotherham Stockport game is going to go over 2.5? Yes, I do think so now. This second half, I'm still using the live score tracker here, and Stockport really going for it again. So, I mean, the fact that goal came with plenty of time, I think Stockport will either, hopefully, for any Stockport fans out there, score and get back into it. But if they're chasing it, they could leave themselves exposed. And, Rotherham should have the skill to catch them off if that's the way the game pans out. I wouldn't be too worried about that. It's 96th minute now in the Eredivisie.
That game rumbled on. Yeah, I'm seeing 97th minute. They had a shot off target, Volendam. I've no idea how close it was. Maybe, it could have been a late winner. Maybe it could have been close to the corner flag, but they did have a shot. But yeah, it's full time now, so that's
full time.
A little unlucky.
That's unfortunate. Mitesh in the comments.
It's the other FA Cup game. I think I'm going to get on 2 goals in that Gateshead Charlton game. Both teams have had like 8 or 9 shots each, 3 each on target. And obviously Charlton are big odds on now, but you think Gateshead have to go for broke a bit. So it could, if they push on, maybe they'll get a goal. If they don't get a goal, maybe Charlton score a couple. 11-10 for 2 more goals there looks decent enough to me. So I think I'm gonna jump onto that one. I know we're saying we'd expect goals in the Rotherham Stockport game, but just looking at the stats, I'd fancy this one a little more.
Yeah, that sounds positive.
This Bournemouth Fulham game is all action, so it is. Solanke nearly had another chance, but he fouled the defender apparently. But Bournemouth are dominating possession a bit now, but I mean, I'd be nearly another chance. I'm assuming Fulham will come back into this. But it's all action. Another shot there from some other Bournemouth player that I couldn't get the name of. Sorry. But yeah, this game, if this game doesn't have over 1.5 in the second half, it'll be crazy at this stage.
Yeah, well, obviously for our treble now, we'd be looking for Fulham to come back and equalise there for the draw. But of any goal, you would have been hoping for the Bournemouth goal to come first, the away team to score, and then Fulham to come back and level up. For my in-play bet builder, if it's Mitrovic that comes back and scores and it finishes 1-1, that'd be a nice 23-1 winner.
Yeah, very nice. Bertie's in the comments, 13-5 anytime. Got on based on the article on the site. Yeah, so thanks for pointing that out, Bertie. Anyone who is unfamiliar with SportsRunDown.com, we have Gaz, who's our EFL specialist, and he did pick out Solanke to score in this game, and he had that up on the site earlier in the week. So even if maybe you can't make the stream on a Friday, it's always worth checking out SportsRunDown.com and the live action ACCA, which talks through our match bets on the Friday night. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Bertie.
I've moved away from this Bundesliga game for a bit. I'm just going to jump back in and keep an eye on it. It's still 2-1 to Berlin, and as I flick onto it, they're on another attack here. It looks as if they're kind of countering. They have the ball up in the Leipzig box, but it was defended out for a Union throw. It looks to me like Leipzig are kind of, obviously, I mean, they're 2-1 down. They have to kind of just go for the bit. But Berlin aren't holding back and could easily wrap this one up on the counter-attack. So hopefully that's the case. But yeah, 20 minutes to go, still 2-1, so we're looking good there.
Charlton just got another one, Slats.
Sorry?
Charlton just got another one for you.
Oh, brilliant. I just got on that for 2 more goals there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice. It really looked like it, and it's like I was saying, Gateshead had plenty of shots. They'd actually more shots in the game up to that point. So they were obviously going for it. They're 1-0 down. They don't have a choice in a cup match but to go for it at home.
It's a great angle, Slats, and fair play. I mean, and again, anyone watching, the guys, probably the two of you in particular are very strong at the in-play angle. So, any of these bets that get called out are well worth backing. And any of our regular viewers will know earlier in the year we had a couple of huge 12-1, 14-1, even doubles that came in during the in-play angles. We even had a 40-1 treble land on the show. So, the guys they're not just picking these bets out of the air, they're picking great in-play angles watching these games.
You're being modest there, being seen as it was you that had the 40-1 treble picked out there. It was a second half treble. It was 3 games that were drawn at halftime, and you picked a winner in each. And
some really handsome panel member had a 40-1 treble earlier in the season.
Now you're just ridiculous. But the Slats, your Polish shout is 2-0 up as well. Like,
yeah, it's just unfortunate that the pre-game stats didn't back that up for us, because we would have been all over it, had they looked as if they did. But I mean, as you said, it just didn't. We couldn't really find enough justification to back them, so it looked a bit of a risk. But
yeah, that's the thing.
It's got 6 winners so far tonight for you two.
There could be COVID, or there could be something that we don't know about in a game like that that's impacting that price, because I don't think the pre-game price made any sense. And especially, at halftime then it was 6-5 because they were dominating the game. But
that Charlton game isn't the winner quite yet. It'll be I backed it 2 more goals in that match.
Okay.
So, yeah, but that one came pretty early. Like, it's 55 minutes now, so there's plenty of time just for 1 more goal. The only fear there would be that maybe Gateshead just kind of give up trying to equalize because they're 2 down, and it just fades. The game kind of fades into nothing. But with that much time left on the clock, you'd expect another goal to come. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're making a good point about the pre-game stats, PK, and could have been COVID or injuries, or when the odds are so far away from what you expect, it's obviously that you're missing information. It's not like I make them to be 4-5 and they're 6-5, and there's a bit of value there. It's when it's significantly off, then there's probably information that we're missing.
Exactly. Well, there's got to be, like, we've had it before though, right? Where we've had games and we haven't understood the odds, and then something happens, and you're like, okay, it's just because the bookies know more than us.
They knew. They knew how it was going to go.
You had a few last season, PK. Do you remember, like, especially in the Serie A, and you're like, Atlanta are a great price, and then they start to drift, and you're like, what do they know? And then we kind of double up on them, and then they end up losing, and you're like, okay, there was a good reason that they were drifting all week.
Yeah, Atlanta were a good bogey team for me last season.
Yeah.
only back them for goals in games now. I don't trust them to go and win a game. I mean, the 2 games against United this year, I suppose, are a good example as to why you don't want to be trusting Atalanta too much.
I really wondered that with this Union Berlin Leipzig game. Like, as I said at the start of the show, I don't know a huge amount about that league, and it was just based on the stats and some pre-game information. I could see that Leipzig were missing a few players and had a few more out. They had a few injuries and a few more out with COVID. And just all the stats, they've awful away form. Berlin have one defeat in their last 23 home league games. It all just looked like a Berlin game. And I was just searching for what's the bit I'm missing? Like, and when I went looking at the squad news, the kind of injury reports for both teams, that's where I was expecting to find it, that maybe it was Union Berlin who were decimated with some COVID outbreak or something like that, or, a few key players injured or something. And it all it did was further back up a Union Berlin win, because they had a pretty clean team, or clean, what would you call it, a healthy
clean bit of health.
Clean bit of health, that's the phrase. Whereas it was Leipzig who were missing a good number of players. So I'm not sure what logic there was for the bookies to have Leipzig as favourites here. It's not panning out that way, but there's still a bit of time left, so I don't want to have to eat my words later. Maybe there is something they knew that we don't. I still think a lot of it must have come down to just last season's form, last season's standings with Leipzig in second.
Yeah, and it's a little disrespectful to Union's form, right? Too. They're above them in the league as well, right? And
they're only, I think, maybe 2 points ahead of them. They're 6th against 8th. Not much between them. But
especially when you compare home records to away records, like
it's Union that home versus away form. Like, I mean, Leipzig, like three draws and 6 losses in their last 9 away league games, just doesn't jump out as any reason you think they're going to beat anyone on the road.
I suppose this is why we're here, to find angles like that, isn't it?
That's exactly. Yeah. Find them and share them, and welcome them back if anyone has any themselves. We definitely tail.
Oh, I'll tail any winner as long as
Birdie Smith is claiming after timing.
That it was on the 40-1. That comment popped up a couple of moments ago, Slats.
Okay, right.
Yeah, it's funny though. You said,
but to be fair, I mean, you can go back and watch that show and see it, that it was.
He makes it what that means, Bertie, is you and the rest of the guys watching should like and subscribe to the page and make sure to watch us on a Friday, because I mean we definitely don't like after timing, but the best we can do is call the bets out live on air as they come, and then I think we're in the clear. But make sure to watch us every Friday, and then you get the best chance at not missing those. But you made a point, PK, that I thought was interesting about with the odds were nearly disrespectful for Union. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head, 6 versus 8 in the Premier League, but it's probably not far off, like, Arsenal, Tottenham, or United at home to somebody like Brighton. Like, they'd be odds on. They certainly wouldn't be 3-1, like it. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah.
3-1 is mad.
I'm after missing another one. I was just about to bring up. I was going to back a League 2 game, or League whatever in France. Sochaux against Po, is it? Is that how you pronounce it? Sochaux won. I don't know. Just ignore my French pronunciations.
Mine is worse.
I think
don't
it's
worry
Pau,
about
but I'm not sure.
But Sochaux aren't great at home, but Pau are awful away from home, and Sochaux don't really concede at home, though they don't score many. And literally, as I was about to talk to you about it, they scored, and now I'm missed another one. It's one of them nights where I'm just not pulling the trigger early enough. They were 6-5, I think, as well. But we'll see how that one fares out. There's still 50 minutes.
Union should be 2-0 up. It's been all St. Truiden in the second half, and then a lightning quick counter-attack. I mean, counter-attack is probably a bit generous. It was just like a ball drilled along the ground about 50 yards, and the St. Truiden 2-0. Unless he's offside, it's 2-0 to Union. Offside, crap.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God. St. Truiden are pushing so hard here, and Union are trying to catch him out on the counter. I think this guy was just a bit slow in getting back on. So,
Bertie's just clarifying that he's only taking the piss with the after time and comment, and said it's his first time on, but he will be back, and we'd more than welcome you to come back. I know you're only messing with the after time, but you're more than welcome to call us out on it if we do that. It's something we do try to avoid doing, and we dislike when we see other.
That's it, though. I really don't like other. We don't want to get into these fake beefs with other people who provide sports betting content, but there's a lot of after time and a lot of in my private freaking paid for group we had winners today, you didn't see them, but
that's
Revolut me €50 and you'll get them next week.
That's
we really don't like any of that stuff.
We're not claiming to be expert tipsters here or anything. We're the same as probably anybody watching. We're just interested in the gambling. We like to find a few angles, and often those angles can pay off, the same as I'm sure anybody watching knows. Like you can find a bit of information or have a bit of the inside track on a particular team, and can help each other pick out decent bets. That's all we're trying to do here, really.
Exactly.
A bet that's interesting me is just looking at the stats. It's not the kind of game you'd normally go at, but the Perugia Vincenza game is 5-4 for another goal, and it seems to be quite an active game.
You disallowed goals already, PK, so there's plenty of goal mouth action, that's for sure. I wouldn't put you off that. I had it as 11-8 with Bet365 for another goal.
It just moved to 11-8. So I might have a wee nibble, just a small bet. Oh,
yeah, that does look decent. There's been a lot of action there. And
Mitrovic,
over 10 minutes left.
just missed a header just over the top of the bar.
Shite, really.
That would have been ideal.
Absolutely perfect. Yeah, that would have been sweet.
He's had 5 off target now, I think. 5.
That's mad.
And
do you know what, though?
Pretty decent chances.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump onto that Perugia one, I think. Oh, actually, my current bank is wrapped up in this Charlton game, so I need another goal there fast, and then I'll jump on Perugia if I can. But yeah, that looks good to me, that 11-8 for a goal there.
6-4 now, it's drifting nicely.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, there's been just so many chances. You'd expect, either an equaliser or Perugia to go off and get a second.
I was going to say this in Truiden game's got to be value for another goal, but it's only 1-2, so I'd leave it slide. But they're really pushing hard here. I guess you get that with certain mid-table teams that they've nothing to lose, so why not go for it?
1-2 isn't that bad value for another goal with half an hour left.
I mean, true.
It's not the number you're looking for usually, but there's still value in something that you think is a high probability of happening.
Feck, Union Berlin countering again. Nice counter attack, ball into the box. Keeper coming out and just knocked it past them, and it just went wide of the post. Keeper did well, in fairness, just closed down the space, didn't really offer much, but geez, it was close enough. Would have wrapped it up. There's a little under 10 minutes left there now, so definitely that would have wrapped things up nicely.
That would have been ideal. Half an hour to go in the Stockport County game. They just had their 7th corner of the match, Stockport, which I think is a good indication of how well they are in this game, despite the gap in divisions there. So still 1-0. It's getting into the kind of now or never time really for another goal. If it goes 1-1 quite late, I think the teams will play for the rematch. So yeah, a goal there would be great though. A Stockport equaliser. They just showed a replay of that Union goal that was disallowed. It was millimeters offside. Definitely would have been.
I thought isn't there, or is that just in the Premier League? Right, they give the benefit of the doubt thing that was decided this summer, right, in the off season. That if it's a nose hair in it, they'll give the striker the benefit of the doubt.
You could still see it though. It was very close, but he was just offside. But he couldn't.
Also, it wasn't actually millimeters, like you said.
Well, it was millimeters, but it was visible millimeters. It was about 75 millimeters, BK.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I'm annoying.
But I think that's just a Premier League rule too, isn't it? The benefit of the doubt one, or is that across Europe?
I don't know, actually. It is a good one, though, because, if you 1-1 in Belgium, in Truiden.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Sweet. That's excellent for the bet.
Oh, we are looking good, guys.
Wow.
Oh, the Union players are raging, so hopefully they just come pairing back into this.
Angers them enough, yeah. And there's plenty of time left there as well.
Well, that's what I mean. So that would have been you making 50% on your money there, LB, if you
PK, I mean the crypto generation. I don't want to know unless it's 50,000%.
Oh,
50%, forget it. Unless it's compounded over. That is actually a great goal. It's keeper's probably could have covered himself with a bit more glory there. Shot from outside the box, kind of goes through his hands, but into the far side of the goal. Really, really nice strike. Dipped at the worst moment if you're a Union fan, at the ideal moment if you've backed both teams to score. So we're looking good there.
But this Union Berlin game is really end to end. Oh my God, just nearly another score for Berlin. I thought that was going in. So Leipzig had a good attack, well defended, and went out for a corner. Nothing much really came at the corner. It went out to the edge of the box. They didn't make much of it. And then there was another counter attack for Berlin that was kind of half defended. It went wide, but before it left the Leipzig box, Berlin picked it up again, went on an attack, swung it in, diving header. I was sure for the world it was going in, but the keeper made a good save. So it's a Berlin corner here now. And we're 84 minutes. So 80 just gone into the 85th minute now. And another shot just wide from Berlin. Jesus. So they could have had this one wrapped up. I hope that doesn't come back to haunt them.
That's what I'm saying. Is that feeling that they're going to go and get a horrible last goal.
They'll have that written all over it, unfortunately. Patel in the comments, Patel Lonatan. So I think you're saying hello from FC Augsburg. So yeah, hello to FC Augsburg from here at SportsRunDown.com. Obviously, you're not playing tonight, but let us know if you're watching the Bundesliga game and any thoughts you want to share. And
I'd be interested to see what he thought of Union Berlin being 3-1 for the win in that match before kickoff. We certainly thought that was surprising odds given they'd only lost one of their last 23 and Leipzig's away form was pretty poor. So, I mean, we're no Bundesliga experts, so we were only going off the stats, but it'd be interesting to see someone with insight into the Bundesliga, what they thought of Berlin 3-1 there.
Yeah. We have a comment in on Facebook, and it's probably a little bit out of time, so apologies if we missed it, but Savas Koranos, you asked us Groningen score, so that finished 1-1. So Groningen scored early, and then I think just before halftime they Volendam equalised, and that game finished 1-1. So a tie there, not a bad result probably for Zwolle, but let us know again what your angle was there. Were you just watching it? Are you a fan, or did you have a bet on? And that is the comments on Facebook. Still 1-0, approaching 70 minutes in the Rotherham Stockport game. Starting to be worried about that. Union St. Gilloise, or whatever they call Union SG, we'll call them, are right back, just dominating all over again. St. Truiden, the goal has really woken them up, so I couldn't be happier with the way this game has panned out. Dangerous ball into the box here. Let's see what happens. I know, well-headed clear there by the St. Truiden defenders. St. Truiden's nickname is... Oh, go ahead, PK.
Well, I'm just saying this bet couldn't be much better set up now, right? I mean, Fulham surely have to go chasing now. They're making a couple of subs here. Bournemouth have been on top, but they have to go and try and get something. So we'll take an 85th minute equaliser there. Hopefully Union Berlin hold on. And I'd be tempted to back Royal Union now myself in play in Belgium.
In Belgium. Yeah, what odds are they? I've changed this to match goals. They are, I'll tell you now what they are, PK. They are 2-1. So pretty good price there.
Leipzig, we're having an attack there that was giving me a bit of anxiety. It was looking very dangerous, but nothing came from it, thankfully. They're back in possession around halfway now. This game, when you're coming close to a win coming in, there's 3 minutes of normal time left. It just starts getting stressful then, when you're the underdog.
Oh, massive. Yeah.
And it kind of feels like, oh, maybe they'll win, maybe they won't. But when they take the lead and it's coming close to coming off, then it does start getting stressful. You don't want the late heartbreak.
Exactly, yeah. 2 goals, Bertie Smith. Oh, yeah, 2 goals needed for the bet. That's exactly right. How do you win the bet again? So well after you, the after time and comment party, I'm not sure if you're going to win the bet this week, but you're the most active commenter, so the most active or engaged or the best comment across our 3 channels. So that's Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And the YouTube audience are by miles the most engaged here tonight. So kudos to them. The best comment or the most engaged overnight will be picked as the winner. So the bet is €450 we will be winning should Union go on to win. Union SG in Belgium, if they go on to win. Union Berlin in Germany hang on for the win, and Fulham managed to get an equaliser. So not really that much of a stretch. Probably
really isn't.
3 most likely outcomes, I'd say, in those games. So if that happens, we've put a tenner on. It pays 450, and we'll give that to, we'll just Revolut or Cash App, or whatever people use these days, whatever the cool kids use. We'll send you that money just as a gift, really, for we appreciate the engagement.
Bitcoin, LB.
Yeah, so you get 0.00001% of a Bitcoin if the bet comes in. Yeah. So just keep commenting away, guys. Like we said, we love the engagement. It's a big part of why we do this. I mean, we could easily just sit at home and watch these matches on our own, but we do love to talk to people about their bets and their views. And, we've got
in terms of
fans.
In terms of what comments we like to see, I mean, personally, I like to see other people's bets, other people's picks for the night. And, just what they fancy, if they've any actions going on, or just any bit of information on why they kind of fancy a pick, where they think the value is. That's definitely what I like to see, because I do tail plenty of the comments we get in. If somebody justifies a bet well, I would jump on it myself.
Yeah, that's a great point. This week and the last week, the comments have been a little bit less clear. So people asking us about games, and we, gladly answer those questions.
Jesus Christ! Sorry.
I think we can all say with confidence what that noise was about.
Exactly. Oh my God! It just fell to Leipzig attacker. In fairness, he trapped it well. Great challenge defender coming across him. It just blocked the shot nearly before it left his boot, and it just went straight out for a corner. They've initially defended that corner well. It's gone near back to halfway. Leipzig in possession, and we're just going into injury time in that game. So
what you described,
too much of it. I'd say
exactly described a play in the Truiden game. It didn't go out for a corner, but just blocked right off the boot, and it was nearly a goal for Union, which would have been delightful there.
This has just gone now for a Union Berlin goal kick, which should run down a good 30 seconds of the clock. Let me see. There's only 3 minutes injury time, which is great news. I wouldn't have been surprised if there was more, although it's been all action. There hasn't been a whole lot of stoppages, so it kind of makes sense that there's only 3 minutes there. And I hope these 3 minutes go very quickly. There's only there's 1 minute already gone out of those 3, so we're talking 2 minutes left for Berlin to hang on to this.
Yeah, there was a video when you're saying about goal kick of keepers from kind of older keepers like Barthez and Jens Lehmann and guys like that, and all their time wasting tricks. Some of them are unbelievable. But climbing out over to get the ball, and then when they're throwing it back onto the pitch, kind of accidentally bounce it off the advertising hoarding. So,
I saw that quite recently, a clip.
I only saw the video a few days ago. Oh, it was very good. You'd be going mental if you were the opposition,
Absolutely, yeah, but nothing you can really do about it either. It's not.
Oh,
I mean, at worst, the keeper's getting a yellow card anyway, but he's probably getting away without it. This is great. Now it's a Union Berlin throw in deep in an attacking throw in right down at the edge of the box. I presume, they're
2-1 Union.
Oh, brilliant
corner. Yeah, we're up on rail. Oh, what a goal. Sometimes, I don't know if this is just me, but sometimes you see the way a corner is lined up and you think this corner has a great chance of being a goal, whatever the defenders are out of shape or something. I just thought this looks great. Whipped in, edge of the 6-yard box, keeper didn't come for it, and then kind of a flick on off the back of the head. Keeper never would have got that. It was the corner of the 6-yard box. Kind of just headed it behind himself into the far corner. I mean, no keeper in the world is stopping that at that speed. So, great. 72 minutes on the clock, 2-1 Union.
I got on them at 2-1 as well.
Lovely PK.
And Fulham are all over. Fulham are high pressing here against Bournemouth now. So, I mean, this is either...
Fulham have had 17 shots and haven't scored yet. Hopefully that changes. Leipzig are desperately trying to get out of their own half here. They had a defensive throw in, but it's just kind of bouncing around inside their half. Headers going back and forth, nicely just kind of running down the clock. And actually, Union Berlin have picked up possession and a throw in the Leipzig half. So this is looking good. There's 3 minutes of injury time are up. And it's a Union Berlin throw in Leipzig's half. Yeah, it's gone suspended now. That must be surely for full time.
So it's just the Fulham goal that we need, and then basically fast forward in Germany and Belgium, and we're looking good. Rotherham Stockport, 75 minutes, 1-0 still. So I'd be close to giving up on the goals in that one. The way these, cup matches can light up early or they can fade out late is kind of my feeling on it. No follow-ups from our FC Augsburg friend or any word about the Groningen game, Savas, but by all means, do let us know in the comments what you're thinking in those.
I've got some nice cash outs on variations of these bets.
Just what a time. 1-1 Stockport. So they've just equalised. Couldn't have
really?
That. Oh, it's just been ruled out.
Union Berlin game is over anyway, so that's one leg in.
Yeah, that finished. Yeah,
3-1. Unbelievable start.
Yeah,
I can't believe that Stockport goal was ruled out. Would have been lovely.
But that's what I mean. If you did singles and all them too, another corner here for Fulham. If you did singles and all them too, you have a 3-1 winner there, and you're covered, right? I mean,
yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, completely covered there. Yeah,
easy hedge and then LB's is obviously coming in at 11-4 at the moment. Was that 11-4?
9-4. 12 to 9-4. 9-4.
Yeah.
I've a separate one. Why is it? I don't see what's going on with this, but anyway, sorry, I had a separate one with Union Berlin and both teams to score. That was 5-1 for Union Berlin and both teams to score, but I still need Fulham to equalise in that one. But it's still not. I mean, it's a pretty decent cash out there as well. Not that I'm going to take any of these cash outs. I'm definitely hanging on for this Fulham equaliser at a minimum.
Mitrovic had a header on target, but it was saved by the keeper. It was a very good chance again. He's so strong. He just out wrestles a guy and then gets the header in. And Travers, the Irish guy in goals for Bournemouth, made not a tough save, but a decent one. This going to be a good end to this game, and obviously probably a
Mitrovic equaliser and it to be wrapped up then and full time and everything. And same with the Belgium game, just blow it up, ref. It would be one of my best nights of gambling ever, I would say. Definitely.
Oh, really? Not even over it.
Yeah, I have a few different versions of these bets going on, and they're all looking pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I have that bet builder in the Fulham Bournemouth game as well for it to be a score draw. Solanke and Mitrovic both scoring. That was paid in Gary, that one. Sorry, LB, go ahead.
I actually would be the same as you, Slats. I found a bet that I forgot about, which was the bet builder. I think I shared it during the week, so this wouldn't be after time. But yeah, if Union can hold on and Mitrovic can get on the score sheet, I would be a happy chappy.
Yeah,
you should get if you haven't already, if you can watch this Bournemouth Fulham game, you should probably get it on because Fulham had another great chance there. This is going to be a good end to this game.
It actually wasn't on Betfair, and I was kind of watching the German game, but I was surprised that it's not. I mean, given they've the Gateshead Charlton game on and a few others. Actually, Sporting Lisbon have gone up 1-0 away to Benfica pretty early. Just as I scroll down through these games that Betfair is showing. Disappointingly, yeah, they're not showing the Fulham game, so I'll have to rely on your commentating.
Oh, it's I mean, obviously now the one shot on target for Solanke and Mitrovic as well. Now Mitrovic's had 6 shots, only 1 on target. Should have 2 goals at least. Anyone that bet that would be absolutely raging. But there's so much time left, and Fulham are pressing so hard that he probably will get another chance at least.
Yeah,
I presume he's the penalty taker for Fulham. Is he, PK?
Yeah.
Well, he must be with 21 goals. He must be.
I'm not 100%, but I'd assume so. Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting angle. I'm just going to have a look at the Benfica game now. Sporting.
I forgot I had this bet on last year after giving me butterflies now the way you were talking. Union are absolutely going for this, by the way. Like,
really, it would be nice for them to wrap things up
3-1.
there.
It's slightly behind. A couple more minutes in this one than the Fulham game.
Yellow card.
Yeah, just to confirm, Mitrovic did score a penalty, and the last 2 games in October, the 24th and 30th of October, he scored a penalty in each of those. So he certainly is the penalty taker by the look of it, as we expected.
Yeah, nice to know.
They've a good attack and free kick here in position. So, I mean, this would be ideal. There's 10 minutes left without injury time. If they scored here, I mean, both teams are just going to take their foot off the gas. So
I don't know if you might be a little behind, PK, but I think, does he have a shot on target, Mitrovic, here? From that free kick?
He did. Oh, and it's a great save. And the guy that followed it up, sorry, I'm slightly behind. A guy followed it up after the keeper saved it, and he had an open goal nearly at the back post. But it's a header on target for Mitrovic again.
Was it Bertie's bets? That was the double of Solanko 2 shots on target and Mitrovic 2 shots on target. He's 3 out of 4 of those shots are in now. Obviously, we're not going to be cheering on a Solanko shot on target, or hopefully he does, but it isn't a goal. But
lads, this the follow up was such a good chance. This is where it should have happened. That we could be kicking ourselves in that one at the end of the game.
God, that would be sickening. Yeah.
That is an easy chance. Oh Jesus!
Yeah, still plenty of time, and they're obviously going to continue pushing for it. And it's one of those ones where, like, the later the equaliser comes, obviously, the more likely it is to remain.
I was just going to say there, though, because I think if they equalise now, both teams take their foot off the gas. And
you'd have to think so, wouldn't you? I mean, maybe Fulham push on with the momentum of the goal, but you would think they're not going to take as many risks, certainly.
Oh, exactly, and they're pushing so hard now that I think that the goal is they'll be happy with that.
Yeah,
and Bournemouth seem quite gassed. That's a great ball in. Oh my! This is a great game, especially with us with this bet riding on it now. It's like
it's so much riding on it.
What a ball in there! A guy sliding in. It was like whipped across from the left hand side, and the guy must be within a whisker. Oh, it bounces over his foot nearly. Oh. Here I need one of you to watch this. This is I'm just going to be shouting now for the rest of the game, but it's all Fulham. It's all Fulham. Like
I keep forgetting as well that, like, one of our viewers, if Fulham equalise here and Union hang on in Belgium, is going to get €450 as well. So I hope everybody watching, or certainly everybody commenting, is cheering this on. But it's a Fulham corner now, so I'm going to flick off just in case anything does come of it, and let PK be the one to.
Yeah, I'm about 10 seconds behind that, or 15. So I'll keep you updated here.
Do.
But you're right. It is the corner. I mean, Mitrovic is just so strong in the air. They just need to put it on him.
Goal, Fulham. Surely.
Goal.
Stop it, LB. Oh, you're saying goal. Get a goal.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant there was one. No, but I mean, Bournemouth, they're in their own box. They're gassed. This is like, they're absolutely all out. I don't know how they'll keep another 10 minutes of this going. I'm not going to lie to you. There it is. There it is. There it is.
Who scored it, PK?
It's a big centre half, Tosin, but there it is.
Bastard.
Is it definitely allowed, though?
Everything seems fine to me. He looks onside, but I'll wait for the replay.
But sorry. Yeah, Betfair were just a little behind. Bet365 had shown it.
It looked.
It's not Mitrovic, but it is an equaliser.
This is the 400. This is the 45-1 in the bag. If it stays this way. Wait. No, he's perfectly onside. This is a perfectly good goal. Mitrovic had 2 or 3 of these type of opportunities, and he took a centre back to do it. But it's a great header. Okay, now we're just praying that it stays like this. Imagine if we did both teams to score in every game.
Oh, Jesus, that'd be insane.
God, I have to cash out of one of these. I'm cashing out. I can cash out 300 and 350 in 2 different bets.
Oh, wow.
One was a fiver on to win 560, and I'm going to cash out 300 in that. The other was a tenner on to win 650, and I could cash out for 350, but I'm going to let that one ride.
Now, saying this now, absolutely. You take some of your winnings there. Solanke's shot on target now is a chance again, right? But I think Bournemouth are fully gassed. Like Fulham are back in possession. I don't see how Bournemouth get much out of this. But I'm hoping this just stays 1-1 now, to be honest with you. If Solanke happens to get a tame shot on target, so be it. But I mean, we've 40 to 5-1 winner in the bag at the moment if it stays like this. That is a good Friday night's work.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we're not getting like 50 new, comments coming in.
Get the money.
Would be to bank
€450 giveaway about to happen for people just to comment on the stream. They've got 10 minutes roughly.
Max. I mean, it's the 85th minute in Belgium, so yeah, including injury time, you're probably talking 8-9 minutes.
Oh, I'm hoping they say.
Oh my God, this is intense.
Yeah,
need a drink.
Having a drink. You must nearly be getting sponsored by Bulmers or Magners. They must be sending you a case every Friday.
I'll reach out to them soon. They haven't come offering yet. It seems so irrelevant now, but Charlton are still only winning 2-0. I said, that goal came early, but I was kind of thinking maybe it could just kill off the game. And it looks like there hasn't been many more shots there. But anyway, I'm just trying to take my mind off what's going on elsewhere.
I have another little play though in play. Sasho and Pau equalised for 1-1, but they've also had a man sent off, and there's 15 minutes left. But Sasho will surely dominate now after Pau getting a man sent off. So I think it's worth a wee bet at 5-4 there, if anyone's interested.
Yeah, it's
one last in-play bet after I missed the first one, but
they're actually 29-20 on Betfair.
Oh, take it.
On PK with you,
lads. Give us an update on what's going on in each of those games. Like particularly LB, has that have
gone very slow? It's exactly what we want. Just a lot of kind of kicking it around the middle. When Union get the ball, they're not really trying all that hard. They're just trying to keep it. And when St. Truiden get the ball, they can't seem to do a huge amount with it. So, happy to, obviously another Union goal would be great, but nothing too much to worry about here at the moment.
Yeah, let's hope it stays that way. Are Fulham sitting back as we hoped? PK haven't gone all out for the equaliser.
Yeah, both teams are gassed here now. I'm not going to lie to you. Like Fulham had the ball on a break there, but I think it was Wilson in midfield. Is that who it is? He's run down a blind alley, but boy, he chopped him down and got a yellow card. But like he had no one in front of him. Mitrovic wasn't making any effort, and neither was either of the wingers. So I think this is very much teams are going to play it out, but they're not going to overly commit. So with how gassed they are, I'm very much hopeful that this will stay.
You're probably talking if a goal comes now, it's probably going to be a mistake.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Or maybe a corner where they can commit a couple of men, but
yeah, right.
There's no one pressing too much now.
Yeah, I know you're maybe 10 or 20 seconds behind, but I can see it's just coming up to the 90th minute.
I'm nearly a full minute behind then, so I'm working off a streaming service here. So I'm a little bit behind, but nothing much has happened since. Anyway, it's been scrappy around midfield, and they're happy enough to pass it around the back. So,
the Belgium game has a little more to it. It's just coming up to the 88th minute, but we're obviously much safer there because if Union score again, that only wraps up the bet. It doesn't.
Just weekend that the whole St. Truiden had a pretty. It wasn't that good a shot. It was comfortably saved, theatrically saved, but a comfortable save nonetheless for the Union goalkeeper. But it was still a good shot or a good chance for St. Truiden there. So, 88 and a bit gone.
Just a Fulham free kick in a dangerous position here, but It's
A dangerous position to
Let's
take
hope.
on the shot or to swing it in.
swing it in. But
See, even
Mitrovic
to
has
swing
been
it in,
brilliant.
you'd still expect I don't know, maybe they're not going to be throwing centre backs up into the box. You know,
But they have. But like Fulham have been beating them in the air and most of these things. That's the worry. But
yeah.
I know you're ahead of me probably on the things, lads. I'm just watching you.
I'm trying. I mean, I can't help but look at it. I jumped out of it and I kind of went back in again.
Yeah.
It's 4 minutes injury time. I can see have been
Oh, that's
awarded.
bad. Oh, they didn't even swing it in. He tried to play it to the edge of the box and it came to nothing. Oh, they got a corner. Anything happening in Belgium, LB?
Yeah, Union have the ball back in a relatively just got caught offside, so it's St. Truiden trying to play it out here. 89 and a bit gone. They're not doing a huge amount with it though. Union want it back now. It's actually a nice counter attack, but it's 3-on-4, so unlikely.
You seem to be right up to speed with your stream, LB. I don't know if you're watching it live or what, but what I'm seeing is there's just about 25 seconds left of normal time.
Shot on target there for Union, but pretty tame, straight into the keeper's hands. Yeah, must be a less dodgy stream. I'm actually watching it on Bet365 though, in fairness, so that might be why it's up to speed.
Okay, yeah.
I actually completely forgot I had the over 1.5 at near evens in this game too at half time, so that came in at least as well.
Oh, nice, yeah.
That's good.
You kind of forget these things when there's a 45-1 ACA rolling
on the line, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, Fulham boy just ran it out of play. Now there's a bit of a scuffle. All good for wasting time. This should end this way. It's great. I'm just trying to
It's
get
not showing me how much injury time is in the Belgium game, but it's 30 seconds.
3 minutes.
3 minutes is it? That's good.
Yeah.
So these are going to wrap up pretty close together then.
Yeah, they're going to be very close. There's only, well, obviously probably only a minute and a half left, but it says 2.5 here for me. But Solanke nearly had a chance to get through, but would have been for a shot on target.
Yeah, we'd obviously be delighted with him to get a shot on target once it doesn't go in.
Go in, yeah.
Because that was a nice call. I think that had drifted out to about 12-1 the last time Birdie mentioned it, so it was definitely a good shout.
It's very much defensive formations for both teams here.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, I don't there's been a few opportunities, but I don't think there's been a shot on target since the goal. PK.
No, right? they've been in and around, but nothing to bother the keepers either.
Yeah, so I just jumped into it again, and what I'm seeing is a minute left. There's just 93 minutes gone now with 4 minutes injury time in total.
25 seconds behind, so
and it's 91:40 in Belgium, and what you're saying, LB, is 3 minutes injury time there, so just a little over a minute left there. And yeah, I mean, like we said, if Union score again, that's fine.
Corner for bloody St. Truiden here, or sorry, throw right at the corner flag. Hoofed clear, and there's not a single player in the St. Truiden half of the pitch. Ball to the keeper. St. Truiden are throwing everything at this now, but seem a little bit bereft of ideas, if I'm being honest. Turned it over, great. Union have the ball back. They're just giving it away. All right, yeah, misplaced pass, throw in for Union, and there's nobody making any movement to go pick up the ball. 92:15 on the clock, so looking okay.
The 4 minutes are up in Fulham Bournemouth.
Yeah, it's nearly there. It's a throw. It's a defensive throw to Bournemouth.
Full time PK. I'm not going to wait for you to catch up. It's full time 1-1.
Doesn't matter. I'm okay with that. One.
And yeah, we're looking great here, lads. Like 10.
This is unreal.
To go.
Come on. St. Truiden have the ball back. They've got everybody forward now, but they just can't. Union aren't giving them even time to cross the ball. 93 is gone. Keeper has it. He's going to give one last hoof down. Oh, God. Why is this not ended? Oh, no.
Oh God, it's a corner, is it?
Corner, yeah, and
Oh my
that
God.
was close to being a goal.
So
93
this
to
is it
20
because
on the
the
clock.
3 minutes are up, so it's just this corner.
Oh God, Junior are making a defensive substitution. What are they doing? Oh Jesus wept.
Come on.
Come on, he's swinging it in. You see, ref is blowing his whistle now like there's no tomorrow. What the hell? Union trying to make a substitute. They've just made it as well. Thought you never made a substitution on your own corner when you're defending a corner. They brought some huge guy on, headed clear, rebound. Oh, Union have the ball back. They're on a counter attack here, and they are just playing for the corner. It's a Truiden goal kick, but it's still not over. 94 minutes gone.
94 with 3 minutes.
Why did he shoot that? He shot from about 250 yards out. Like, he could have just kept running the clock down, but he didn't for some reason. A quick kick out now, hoofed it forward, long ball, headed clear but not very clear. Truiden have the ball back on the wing, whipping it into the middle. Good defensive clearance there. Oh, here's a go, one-on-one, one on the keeper for full time. Game over.
Brilliant.
What a crap shot. Game over. 45-1 winner, lads. Unreal.
Excellent
what a
stuff,
stream.
lads. That is fucking brilliant.
Unbelievable.
Delighted.
Oh my God.
Delighted.
So anyone who's watching with us, thank you very much for tuning in. We do love the views, and hopefully you got to pick a couple of winners there as well out of the ones we had. 45-1. This is an unbelievable record we're on this season, lads, with the live betting.
Yeah, unreal. I mean, and that wasn't the live betting. Obviously, that was our pre-game ACCA that we published on the kind of Thursday before the Friday night stream. So that, we tried to give people a bit of time to get on that. Hopefully people did, but we're going to be paying out one of our viewers anyway. Even if you missed out, all you have to do is tune in and give yourself a chance. That is unreal. 45-1. I mean, we had talked about that we hadn't won over the last few weeks, and we'd kind of gone more conservatively with 9-1 or 7-1 ACCAs. But we all just came up with these wider odds this week for whatever reason. Just saw a bit of value, and it came together as that 45-1 shot, and it was no reason not to go for it. I remember I said to you and Gary LB, should I just go for the double chance? And you were like, just go for it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Not.
Bertie, brilliant lads. Yeah, thanks for the encouragement, Bertie, throughout the show. Anyone who's still with us, just drop you a comment there to let us know you're still with us. We'll have to pick our winner out of a hat or something like that but we just want to make sure that we can find you, and sometimes it's very hard to find people who've actually commented and then left the show. So just give us a wave in the comments if you're still with us, if you're still in with a chance to pick up this 450 quid prize there for this. Is unbelievable. I'm actually kind of speechless about it. Absolutely chuffed with that.
Yeah, absolutely delighted. Yeah. And
how many things can you tune into? Like, I'm just a guest appearance here, and I didn't even have a part in the bet either, but in forming the bet. I mean, how many things can you tune into and get in-play winners, in-play bets, chats with people, bit of interaction, and then a 45-1 winner and 450 euro giveaway.
There's people out there celebrating 4 to 7 winners, and they're getting 52% in their American football spread betting at 10 to 11. And people seem to engage on that. So, these are huge wins here. So, yeah, exactly well said, PK. It's good fun, or at least we think it's fun. Hopefully the people watching enjoy it. And you can get on these tips yourself, or you can have a chance at, we bet you win. So,
it was fun. It was fun for the most part, but for the last 15 minutes, I've been shitting myself.
That was pretty stressful. Right. I really feared a winner coming in that Fulham game, either direction, but just, that one of those teams was going to be delighted and we were going to be absolutely heartbroken.
Yeah. Right, I think probably this is the right time in the show. I think we picked the winner. Certainly my vote, despite his after-time and comment, would be Bertie here. But unless Slats or PK wants to chime in with, I think, Bertie's been keeping those comment section rocking for most of the show.
Yeah, in fairness, Bertie's been engaging early, kept with us, and gave a decent enough tip himself, which I said I like it. His own one didn't come off, but that was a great shout. Mitrovic and Solanke, 2 shots each. He had 3 out of those 4 shots come in, and Solanke had at least 1, if not 2, off target. I mean, even for that level of engagement and betting advice.
He advised Rotherham and Charlton too. I'm looking back in the comments here. I mean, that I don't know if he even needs the €450 because he should be loaded anyway.
Or he should be making a donation back to us, really, the way his night looks to have gone.
I'm assuming he's loaded and he's going to have a good Friday night and probably Saturday too. Just in case you are taking, a few extra libations, put on your bets early tomorrow before you do hit the beer.
Yeah. Good stuff. So, Bertie, make sure to follow and just drop us a message either on, not sure if you can even message people on YouTube. So maybe if you can find us on Twitter or Facebook, the links are in our link tree there on SportsRunDown.com. You can drop us a note there.
They're up on screen as well, yeah. Probably Twitter is probably the easiest if you reach out to us at the S_or_D.
We actually had it with the Cheltenham show last year. PK, you were on that as well. And people had won prizes and then they went AWOL. We couldn't even contact them. It took us weeks to track these people down to give them their prizes. So just drop us a note there and we'll get in touch behind the scenes. God, what an unbelievable end to the show. I actually don't want to wrap it up now. I just want to flick on to the Sporting Braga game and just watch that and bask in
a nice full bank in Betfair to throw on more bets. Even with the cash out, I'm looking.
I'll do a quick plug for you, LB. If you're lost for something to bet on, there's your college ball tips for tonight and tomorrow. There's a game tonight that you're on, right? Utah against Oregon.
Yeah, I'm Western Kentucky UTSA, so a slight change in direction here for anyone still with us. It's college football in America. So, it's the final weekend of the conference games, PK, as I'm sure you well know. Tonight, I like 3-1 for UTSA to win that game, and there'll be over 72 points. These two teams met earlier in the year. I think there was 100 points or like 90-something points in the game. Really high score. UTSA have the better record. They have home field advantage. They won the head-to-head the last time these two played. They've only lost one game all season, and somehow they're underdogs. So it doesn't make sense to me. So I like them for the win there. I like the over. It's way below what it's 20 points below what these two played out earlier in the year. Obviously, a final could be a bit cagier, but these are definitely score first, defense second kind of teams. So I like to look at that. The other game tonight is the big one. You said, PK, Utah and Oregon, the Pac-12 conference game. I have Oregon back to win the Pac-12 from about 2 months ago, and that there's no aftertime in there. That was up on SportsRunDown.com as part of a 100-1 treble that's still live in these conference games. But I couldn't make any case for Oregon now at this stage. These two met 2 weeks ago. Utah won by 31 points. They absolutely battered them, and there's no reason to think that they've 4 touchdowns worse than they were 2 weeks ago. Utah lost 2 games back in September or October, 2 tough games as well against San Diego and I can't remember, maybe Baylor. Other than that, they've been pretty rock solid the last 10 games. And other than those 2 losses, they could probably be playoff bound themselves. So 2 good ones I like tonight, 2 underdogs. Are Utah underdogs? I can't even remember now. But
no, they're slight favorites.
Slight favorites, 2.5 points. So I'll take the 2 of those. And then a lot of bets lined up tomorrow. I think Georgia are going to stuff Alabama, although I'm starting to get cagey because I think about 80% of the public money's on Georgia there. But I just can't see how to get close to them. Michigan, Iowa, the whole world expects Michigan to batter them. I actually wouldn't be surprised if there's an upset there. I like Iowa in this one, certainly to cover and potentially to win. We've got Houston, Cincinnati. I mean, that's going to, the eyes of the college football world will be on that game. I don't know. I think Houston are a bit underpriced there. They're underappreciated, if that's the word. They're 10.5 point dogs. I'm not sure if that's right. So I'd probably take the underdog there too. And then what's the last game? Baylor, Oklahoma State. I was going to take the over points, 46.5. 2 very good offenses. They're defensively solid, but it's a very low bar for a college game. And it's going to be tight. I couldn't really pick one. Oklahoma State, I think 5.5 point favorites. Doesn't tempt me, but I think I'll take the over 46 and change there. So huge amount of football on this weekend to bet.
I said I'd make you plug that because you've been making me money every Friday night when it's normally not a time you bet. You do the soccer here, follow your stream and do a few bets, and then you'd have nothing on a Friday evening. But then 2 months ago, I learned about college ball from you, and now I've been making money ever since. It's great. I just follow your tips, and I'm
Been on some
making
run on the
money
college
on
football, in fairness.
something I don't know anything about. And while I had you talking too, Sasho scored, so there's my 5-4 probably coming in on that one as well. So great day, great.
Is your show score or sweet pick? I'm on them as well.
Yeah, 5-4. I got them at, so happy days, more easy money.
Nice.
I didn't even get into it because we were so tied up in the games. I cashed out of the bet a little early, the straight win of the 45-1. So I was a little bit down, but I'm actually back up to where I should be now because I got onto your one PK. I horsed it all on, so show there at 29-20. So basically, just got the 45-1 winner, and you saved my blushes with that one PK. So that's another great in-play call from you. I think you'd be up some ton of money if you just backed the in-play calls tonight as well. Never mind the 45-1 pre-game treble.
True, yeah, there was plenty of those. The way I was thinking of it is like, I mean, we're on for what is there, about 38-40 weeks of the season of the year. So even if none of our ACCAs, come in for the rest of the season, we'd still be up money. On that one alone. We obviously had another one earlier in the season, and hopefully we'll have plenty more for the months coming. But I
mean, just those two trebles, you're up 95 points, 95 units, whatever your betting strategy is. Like, that's it. You can't be down money after that.
Yeah, exactly.
So pretty great show overall there. Now, guys, I'm delighted with that. We'll have to get you back, PK, more often. Whenever suits you.
Lucky charm.
I'd like to say I'm the lucky charm, but I don't think. I think you've proved I'm not. You've done plenty without me, and this is all your work. So
we should say fair play to Gary as well, who is missing tonight, and it was his call on the Fulham game. And in fairness, he had tipped the score draw at 7-2, but for the ACCA, just went with the 13-5 draw, and obviously was a good shout as well.
Yeah, it was actually a great one. I had the one that I was saying to make me happy. I'd done Gary's same game multi, so it was Mitrovic to score, Solanke to score draw, Union and over 1.5, and the other Union and both teams to score. Would have paid about $8,000 off of 20 quid if it had come in. So when Mitrovic didn't score the header, I was sick at that point. I could have taken a 500 quid cash out, but I didn't. And then the other, whoever that centre back was, who got it. But I mean,
Mitrovic should have scored too.
Absolutely. I despise the man now after that PK.
But in fairness, if Mitrovic had been on form tonight, Fulham could have won 2 or 3-1. So maybe the draw wouldn't have happened.
I just think the fact that they're 1-0 down though changed the way the momentum of the game went. Like, that's how football works. Sometimes the chasing team, and obviously the legs went, but once they scored, they laid off a bit. Like, so I just think
it's often the case that if you're back in a draw, you're better off with the match being 1-0 than 0-0. You know what I mean? Like, it just puts a dynamic on the game. It never looked like Bournemouth were going to score a second there. It was all just Fulham, whether or not they would get that equaliser. Thankfully,
big time.
Managed to.
So just a reminder, anyone who is still with us, make sure to like and subscribe. I mean, we're kind of having a pat in the back session here because we're after winning that big bet. But in fairness, 45-1 winners are pretty rare. And they're up on Sports.
Have to enjoy them.
Yeah, exactly. They're up on SportsRunDown.com Wednesday, Thursday, usually, depending. There's, like we said, EFL, Champions League, La Liga, Serie A, Ligue 1, American football, college football, horse racing. There's a ton of content up there. The guys are great at all the individual leagues and sports they cover. So make sure to head over to SportsRunDown.com throughout the week. Usually the content starts coming out around Wednesday. But yeah, plenty of great wins up there. I'd say that's after. I'd say every single one of our sports are in profit for the season at this stage. Maybe one isn't, but certainly 4 out of 5 are well up. And I'd say the soccer in itself or the football must be up about 60 units now in the season, maybe even more. So yeah, make sure to get over there. And Bertie in the comments, congratulations to you once again for claiming that prize, the We Bet You Win. I was a bit skeptical about bringing that in when we did Slats, but I'm actually quite happy with it now, the We Bet You Win concept.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it'll certainly make a few viewers happy if we can get a few of those in the season. So
yeah, if you're getting told winners all evening and winning €450 on top of it just for throwing a comment on a YouTube stream.
Yeah, I'll have to get the missus now to start throwing comments on as well.
I'm raging I didn't comment myself.
Yeah. Did you know, like those? Remember when you were younger, it was like the Coca-Cola competitions, and it was always in the thing like family members of employees are not allowed to enter. And now this is what's going on here.
I've
So
no affiliation whatsoever.
yeah, guest appearances not included. All right, well, look, I think we'll wrap the show up there. Before we do, any bets over the weekend, guys? Any best bets for you, or anything you definitely want to look at? I'll be doing a treble of Enzo's Serie A bets. I've already backed the La Liga ones. But what about you guys?
I haven't got on either yet, but yeah, I like the look of those Serie A bets for sure, and the La Liga too. The Serie A, I just kind of looked into myself a bit more. I'll review the La Liga myself, and Savage's tips on that. But those Serie A ones look good. I do think that Milan one, like it's only 11-10, but it does look like a nice banker. I like building a few evens bankers, and that one Milan to win 2-0 looks pretty solid to me. But the other ones, there's plenty of juice there as well.
Yeah, unreal.
Yeah, I followed Enzo's one last week for Juventus to win 2-0 against who was it? I was bottom. Was it Salernitana?
Salernitana.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay, so I'd definitely follow that one again. They're not very good attacking wise, so seems like a good bet. And then I'm obviously tailing you on the CFB bets. I'll be other than Georgia, I just can't touch it. Just because there's just too much going on, too many dynamics to it. It's going to be a good weekend of college ball, and then I have a few NFL bets, and I might put on a Premier League ACA tomorrow at some stage. But it's football season, well, American football season at the moment, so that's where the majority of my time goes.
This time of the year, like from September through Christmas, it's just really, God, I love it. There's just so much sports on. It's nearly every single day.
Especially into December when everything starts forming towards the playoffs, right? Because even our own inside what's it called, fantasy football for the NFL. It's playoffs next week, so like it's all football. It's all football. December, January is all football.
I had a ban on that topic earlier in the season, PK, but I've actually sort of come good now, so happy now to hear about it. I'm back on track. Yeah, so loads to be looking at. Look, guys, thanks for joining us. Anyone who's still watching the show, we see you got people on YouTube. Obviously, the laggards in the comments, you missed out to Bertie Smith there, who wins the prize of We Bet You Win. But make sure to come back next week, same time, 7:30, UK and Ireland time, 8:30 continental European time, and then 2:30 Eastern US. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Hopefully you got to get on a couple of the bets that the guys had in play, or even the 45-1 treble. I can't even calculate what that would be in US odds, PK, plus 4,500 or plus 450. Huge.
Plus 4,500.
Yeah, plus 4,500. Yeah, I finally learned how to use American odds and how to speak them.
I'm good at them with the low numbers, 10 to 11, minus 110, plus 110. But once it gets up into like those, like 45, I get a bit confused.
How many zeros do I add? How many zeros?
Yeah. So look, we'll wrap it up there. Bertie, once again, reminder to contact us on whatever platform, but do reach out. Everybody else, please, drop us a follow, drop us a like. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you at the same time next week.
Good night.
Cheers, lads. Nice one.